Hello, hello. On today's show, I'm going to talk about the D23 Expo. Mike's going to reveal the matchups for the semifinals of Cover Combat, and the Todd Father punches back with some new figs. Welcome to your favorite live streaming, whatnotting podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space by Xcellar Comics. As usual, I am your fourth or fifth favorite podcaster, Kevin. I have two amazing gentlemen with me today. You want to say what's up, Pat?
Good day, everyone.
And, of course, Mike.
Hey, everyone.
How's it going, fellas?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I'm good. I'm a little worn out.
Yeah.
I had an awesome whatnot weekend, and wrapped it up late last night with my Spawn themed show. I started at 8, and I intentionally start earlier on Saturday so I can get done earlier. But I literally went from 8 to 1 because it was such a great show. And it was fun. Lots of chat and purchases. I do want to apologize to anybody that was at that show. It was my first combined show of comics and collectibles, with Spawn being the theme for both. And I failed on the comics end just because I was having so much fun with the collectibles. The comics Friday night was Hulk, and that wasn't so great. Didn't do too bad, but it's tough to put a whole show together of Hulk comics, especially my collection. Not being a big Hulk guy, it's kind of thin, you know. All right, hey Mike, I'm sorry, I led right into jabbering on. Mike, you wanted to set up the Prophet. So let me start. I got this, and it's the same one as last week, though. There you go, Mike.
So excited. All right, here we go. Here are the covers for 10 books coming out this Wednesday, September 14th. The Xcellar Group and our families have selected our top 3 favorites. In order for you to win the Profits contest, you must choose the covers that make up our top 3. Head on over to the Facebook page, have a look, and then pop back over here to the live stream and post a comment of the 3 covers that you've selected. The cutoff time for your submission will be announced at the beginning of the Pick 3 segment. The winners will receive their choice of 1 book from the 10, and we'll send it to you free. We'll even cover the shipping. And this week we have Iron Man 23, Young Hellboy 2. I don't remember what the subtitle of that one was. King Spawn 4, Batman vs. Robin 1, Sergeant Werewolf 1, Flash, Fastest Man Alive 1, Spider-Punk 5, Jurassic League 5, Last Shadowhawk 3D, and Mr. Easta number 1. A lot of number 1s. So there you have it.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't make a another intro for the Profits there, so it's still the same lady. She didn't win yet, so she's still trying. Okay. So I got a few updates here. So let's start with this. All right, S.C.R.F.L.S goal sweepstakes. I'm just gonna say this: we're not there yet. We're trying to get to 50 subs on YouTube to do this S.C.R.F.L.S goal sweepstakes giveaway, and all you have to do is, of course, subscribe, comment, retweet, follow, like, or share any of our content anywhere. You're entered. Everyone that is entered, once we hit 50 subs, we'll pick one, and you will win a CGC graded comic, a Funko Pop action figure, and a code to get a digital download of your favorite show or movie, and then movie tickets. So it's going to be a big giveaway once we get there. So please like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll get there. Next thing I got is the random username shout out. And the random username this week is Dr. Brungus. And that's spelled out completely DOCTORBRUNGUS. So, Dr. Brungus, if you're here, let us know in the comments, and we'll give you a 25% discount on your next purchase of anything we have available on eBay at Xcellar_comics. If you see this video at any time in the future, we'll give you 10% off. But Dr. Brungus is the
I like that one. That's a pretty good name.
What is it? Is there a meaning to it? Is it something?
Not that I know of. But
Okay.
Can you imagine? Like, I've had my eBay name for 20 years. My Xbox Live for 20 years. We've all had these things for a long time. Can you imagine, poor kids nowadays, they've got to come up with like taken.
Yeah, we got in early. I was having a fun time again this weekend with all the usernames that come on. It gets me laughing.
Yeah,
people are really clever.
Yeah.
And with Whatnot being fairly young, I guess probably a lot of those will still be available if anybody can come up with anything. So
yeah.
It's funny. I see people I recognize from Xcellar shows on other streams. I'm like, hey, I know that guy.
Yeah. Every time I read something, I know they've been to the other ones or our other shows, or if I see them on other shows, like you said, it makes it. Man, I love Whatnot, obviously, So, all right. Last thing is I've got my notes kind of everywhere, all over the place here, is the scavenger hunt, the Fun Fan freebie scavenger hunt. Okay, the next
point.
What?
I have to plot my next point here.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. This is what everybody should be doing, hopefully. All right. The next location is the capital of the state we are currently at. At the capital of that state, you will find Batman number 40. So, reminders, if you know where the first point in our journey was, you found Batman 38. Second point, 39. And if you go to the capital of the state we're currently at, you get 40. And once we get to the end of this journey, we're going to add a CGC 9.8 copy of Batman 44. So, and I just want to clear something up real quick too. I was actually talking to someone that's like, I have no idea what you're talking about with the scavenger hunt. If you email me our current location, you win. You get the comic that's currently in it to that point. So if we get to the end and no one's emailed us at xcellarcomics@gmail.com, where we currently are in the scavenger hunt, when we get to the end, it's all gonna be just sitting there in essence in this little fantasy journey we're making. So if you email me today what you find, where we currently are in the journey, you'll get Batman at 38, 39, and 40. That's kind of how this is working. If you're going along with the journey and you're snatching up all these comics. So basically, it's if you're following along with the journey, you get a comic every week. So email me.
Right.
Okay.
First one there.
Well, this is one of those. The Xcellar family is excluded. So sorry about it. Okay, so I think that'll do it for all those. The next thing we want to do, did I forget anything before we go into this, Pat?
Anniversary.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. See, Pat, thanks. I'm so glad. You're awesome. I'm tired, too. That's my excuse. I know my memory is usually like solid, so I'm tired, and I did partake in some drinks, so that's not helping my brain today. But anyway, yeah, we wanted to talk about the anniversary show. So tomorrow is 1 year since we started this craziness with comics and collectibles in the crawl space. Quick trivia: what was the very first name of the first show, or what was the name of the show when it first started, first episode? Either one of you. Mike?
Was it getting to know Mike and Kevin?
No, not an episode name. What was literally, because now we're comics and collectibles in the crawl space. What was the name of the show first? Because we've changed it, I think, 3 times.
I don't remember. I remember us
Coffee
discussing
and Comics.
What's that, Pat? Sorry.
Coffee and Comics.
Yeah, Coffee and Comics with Kevin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that started 1 year ago tomorrow, and we talked last week about how we were going to do an anniversary show this week, but we wanted a little bit more prep time, and then also it's September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
So not an appropriate celebration show day, but so we're going to do an anniversary episode or show next Sunday, and it's going to be awesome. Along with our normal segments, we are also going to do a lot of kind of revisiting the past year and some funny moments, and have a lot of fun with that. But then also we're going to get a little crazy with the giveaways. We're going to use Mike's famous segment wheel to do a giveaway every episode or every segment at the end of every segment next week. So just to remind people, all of our segments, we got what Kevin watched, Mike's pick 3, Pat's collectibles, the reviews, cover combat, and I think that's it. 5. So we're going to do 5 giveaways during the show next week. And all you have to do is comment that you want to be entered in the giveaway. Come to the show, comment that you want to be entered into the giveaway. Mike will add your name to the segment wheel. And at the end of each segment, Mike's going to spin it. And we're going to have some fun prizes. They're going to be some random items of miscellaneous types. So, but they're all going to be good. They're all going to be fun. If you like comics and collectibles, obviously you can count on it being comics and collectibles. So anyway, that's all I really had to say about the 1 year anniversary show. Did you guys want to add anything to that?
No, I'm excited to see what we have in store for us.
Yeah. All right. So now I think I got it all. So Mike, are you ready? Here, this is the big segment.
Yep. It always takes me a minute to sort through because I've got to share my screen and all that stuff.
All right. Well, you've got a minute. Get ready. Nice.
I'm working on getting my screen up there.
Okay.
I started with the video during the video because I was hoping that it wouldn't shut off the video. I wasn't sure how it would all work. So there we go. Can you guys see that?
No, you got to add it like this.
There we go.
Is it up?
It's up. You can't see it?
No, because I see the screen that I'm sharing with you guys.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, now that totally makes sense. You know, as I've watched the last couple episodes, I'm like confused
Yeah.
as to why you couldn't see it exactly, because you always ask, of course. And now I get it though. Your screen is actually just showing the cover combat bracket. You don't you can't actually see us now. Got it. Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
Because I have to manipulate my keyboard to bring up the next book and stuff.
Makes sense now. I wasn't tracking with that. Okay, good.
Okay. All right. This was fun. Holy cow. Even seeing this and then seeing the matchups that I'm going to reveal shortly, it gets really exciting. I mean, there's some matchups that you kind of want to see happen, but it's all random. And when you see those pop up, man, I was excited. I'm excited to share those with you guys shortly. But first, we need to get through these.
Yeah.
So up first, we have Savage Sword of Conan 53 versus Classic X-Men #1. And the winner here received 85% of the votes.
Nice. Okay. Oh man, I'm worried about this, especially since you said that. Daggum.
Classic X-Men #1.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah. Next up.
I mean, either one, both of them were great, obviously, but yeah, I was rooting for that Classic X-Men, and I was worried because
that Conan's really good.
But now we don't have to have any more talk about possible illegal entries winning the whole kit and caboodle. That's over.
Yeah. I was fine never talking about illegal entries, but and he means because this was a magazine size.
Yeah.
It still flops. It's still a floppy. I never call them floppies. I don't know where they came from, but it was recently, within like the last 10 years, I heard them referred to as floppies, and I'm like, that's not what they are. Never heard of that. Anyway, you guys don't call them floppies, right?
No, I never liked that term either.
Yeah. So next up, Batman 366 versus Hellboy in Hell #10. The winner here got 65% of the votes. Uh-oh.
There it goes. Hellboy.
Batman 366 is victorious.
Hellboy goes down.
Yeah, I guess it's okay to say I'm officially eliminated from cover combat with that cover going down.
Sad days.
Yeah.
All 10 of my covers eliminated.
All 10 of them. Wow. That's surprising.
The only thing I will say is if I have to lose to somebody, at least it was Walt Simonson.
Yeah.
An artist I'm familiar with.
Yeah. At least it wasn't a Venom.
Right. It's funny. Emily calls this Kidney Punch Batman. because as we're talking about them, and she's, we're talking about the cover. She has different names for different covers, like Creepy Venom. This was Kidney Punch Batman.
Okay, that's good.
Yep. All right, next up, Crisis on Infinite Earths number 12 versus Moon Knight number 9.
Ruh-roh. What's the
Ruh-roh.
percentage on this one?
55% of the votes went to the winner.
Ooh.
Close.
Yeah.
Real close.
That gum.
Yep, Moon
All
Knight
right.
number 9.
All right. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's Finch. I like Finch, so it's good. Both of those are really busy covers.
Yeah.
But I still don't know why Crisis number 7 wasn't up there. Is it 7 and 8 or 6 and 7? Flash and then Superman and Supergirl.
Even number 1. Number 1 was on my list initially that I had to scratch off.
Yep. So we'll have to discuss with whoever submitted number 12 why they selected that one.
Yeah. I'm really curious. Once this is all over, I've got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a fun conversation.
Yep. Okay. Whew, it's hard here. It's getting hard. Batman, Superman, World's Finest number 1 versus The Amazing Spider-Man 300. Classic cover versus New School. This was also the winner received 55% of the votes.
Oh, man.
Everybody's so nervous.
Oh.
Art
Man, oh, man.
Batman, Superman.
ASM 300 falls too. Daggum.
Yep. It's old school, new school.
Yep.
So I have a question then. Why didn't my Hellboy cover win? It's new school versus old school. Come on, everybody. Where's the new school people for that vote?
I think Mignola's an acquired taste.
I understand.
Which I like him a lot. Yeah, but
and he's got an old school style too.
That's true too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah.
But it's funny. We're not going to see anybody doing homages to this art germ cover. It's amazing. It's great. But
that was well said, Mike. Exactly. Yeah. That shows how awesome ASM 300 is. Well, many covers. You get a million homages. That shows how great it is. And yeah, we ain't getting any homages of this World's Finest.
No.
Or yeah.
It doesn't take away how great it is, but it's just it's not going to have that longevity that 300 has.
Yeah, as we've talked about, when we have a more of an isolated pool of covers to choose from, it'll be a different story. But anyway, yeah.
All right, and finally, Wonder Woman Black and Gold number 1 versus Venom 17. The winner here received 65% of the votes.
Man, a majority of them were close this week.
Yeah. Yep. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
What?
Knocks out Venom.
How is that possible?
Let me look and see where Patrick voted. See why he's so wondering right now.
We have one less Venom on the board, folks.
Yep. So there you have it. And with that, it brings us into, some of these covers are all competing again this week.
Are we revealing who made the buy?
Oh, yeah. Which one isn't competing this week? Are you going to do that one first?
I don't have a picture of it.
Okay.
We can hold
but
it.
I
We can
can
save the surprise.
What's that?
We can save the surprise.
Yeah. Well, I think I can stop sharing that, right? There we go. Back to me again. Yeah, we can. You know what?
What?
Talk amongst yourself, and I can get it ready. We don't have to. That's all right.
Wait, what are you talking about? What's happening?
Nothing. The cover that gets a bye week.
Uh-huh. What about it?
I don't have a picture of it to put up there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But and I was going to, but it's not necessary. I can tell you what it is though.
Okay. Well, tell us after you reveal the 7v7.
Okay.
Or the 7 1v1s, I should say.
Yep.
Is that good? Yeah.
Yep. So you guys ready for the new matchups?
Yes.
Okay, here comes.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood #1 versus Batman 366. Seriously.
All right.
Oh, man. Right now, I'm gonna switch allegiances and throw my weight behind the cover that eliminated me. So
yeah.
Just to show that I'm not that bitter.
Yeah. Next up, Captain America 2 versus Uncanny X-Men 222.
Oh man.
You're never gonna get a break here, Kevin.
No.
Heck. Oh, jeez.
Next up, we have Venom Lethal Protector #1.
Wait, did you read what those were for the podcasters or for the podcast people listening on podcast?
Yeah, it's a bunch of twos. Captain America #2 and Uncanny X-Men 222.
Okay.
Venom Lethal Protector #1 versus Batman Superman World's Finest #1.
Ooh, I like this matchup.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what the? Well, that's weird. Sorry, the iPad's ringing.
Oh, someone's calling you through your iPad.
Well, someone's calling Mark. It's his iPad. Here we go with Wonder Woman 72 versus Action Comics 419.
Oh, I like this matchup for a different reason than the last one I just said I liked because here we go. We got kind of on the equal playing field here. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, obviously both great, so this will be interesting to see too.
Yeah. You're gonna love these next two. Maybe.
Oh!
Venom #1 versus Classic X-Men #1.
Oh man! Oh,
or as Emily likes to call it, creepy Venom. He's always creepy, but yeah,
it is a creepy Venom. Oh man!
All right, no. These are so hard.
I've still got a poster framed. It's actually hanging in Ayla's room of this. Well, it's similar to the class. It's a similar layout and Art Adams.
Yeah, it's the Art Adams.
Class. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Wonder Woman Black and Gold 1 versus Batman Harley Quinn.
Oh, that's an interesting one too.
Mm-hmm.
Again, kind of like the Action and Wonder Woman. These are kind of
they're on the same as far as the style and the look of them.
Yeah, yeah.
I think one is probably done digitally. I think Alex Ross works in paints. I don't think he does digital stuff, does he?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, that's impressive in and of itself.
Yeah.
All right, and finally, Moon Knight #9 versus Batman 50.
Oh.
These are really good matchups.
Yes.
They're very similar. I think the Venom Lethal Protector 1 and Batman Superman are so different in style, but these
I like this matchup too.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna start thinning the Moon Knight and Venom herd here. I mean, obviously, that's what happens when we get lower in the brackets.
Getting down to the nitty gritty.
But anyway, yeah, everyone watching, and get all your friends and family involved on voting for Cover Combat. We are in the semifinals. Did you want to reveal the
yes,
the one that had to buy then? Which one was it?
Amazing Spider-Man 151.
Oh wow!
And that book received 36 votes in the first rounds. It was where were they? Yeah, I mean that was far and above. Classic X-Men had 31. Batman 55 had 34. Sorry, that was the next closest.
Interesting.
And I think
that's surprising. That's surprising.
Well, it was the matchups because that 151. I can't remember what book it went up against, and it just completely dominated that book.
Gotcha.
They probably got 95% of the vote that week.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, yep.
I would have never guessed that would have been the one to get the buy.
Yeah, I redid my math so many times. I was like, really? But then when I see that, that matchup, and that was the deciding factor.
So you had to explain that. We had 15 covers that survived to the semifinals. And with us doing, obviously we need an even amount for the 1v1 matchups. So the cover that got the most votes up to this point in Cover Combat basically gets a bye week for semifinals, heads right to the finals. So like I was starting to say, everybody get your votes in. Everybody can vote. And not only can everybody vote, but if last week we had Spawn #1 as a prize, if you could guess the cover that's going to win the whole kit and caboodle, what's going to be the last cover standing at the end of all of Cover Combat, you could have got a Spawn #1. We be revealing who wins those prizes at the end. So you can get in your vote now for who's going to be the champ of Cover Combat. And this week's winning prize, if you guess between now and next show and you end up being correct, I got a Spawn action figure for you.
Nice.
So anyway, get all your votes in. Tell everybody to vote, especially if they're over the age of 35. We got a bunch of young bucks voting, which we love it. No problem with that. Obviously, just joking. Everybody is as welcome as anyone else, but we'd love to have a lot more votes involved every single week. So please do so. And all the voting you want on the Facebook Cover Combat post, right, Mike?
Yeah, it can be in the comments of this live stream.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is the one that you can be anywhere. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Not anywhere, just those two places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, comment here or on the Facebook page we have the matchups.
A post as well. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, here is the only place that you can predict the champ, though, right? And you can only do that on this video, though, right?
On this live stream,
yeah.
I had an idea. I've come up with other ideas for future Cover Combats because we're seeing, we see this thing with the old school, new school kind of stuff. So one of my favorite ones that I really want to try, and maybe if people want to kind of chime in on what they think, where's we have 6 of you guys submitting covers. I can assign each of you an artist, and you have to pick from their pool of books.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome. I think cover combat might be a regular thing. Like literally, when we're done with this first one, I'm ready to start another one like right away. So all
we'll
of
skip
the
a week so I can do my in case you didn't know, because I have an in case you didn't know I'd like to do, and then we can jump into it.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we can definitely talk about it. I say that I'm just ready whenever.
Oh
But
yeah,
if,
yeah.
Well, plus by the time cover combat this wraps up, the wheel's going to need refreshed anyway. So
Yeah.
it'll be back up on the wheel.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
It was on the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not many left.
Yeah.
I think we got like 2 more on the wheel.
3. Yeah.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to do the segment wheel at the end of the show. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Anyway, so like I said, everyone get your votes in.
In a minute.
Tell everybody you know to vote as well. All right. Moving on. I think I'm up. And as usual, I have a lot to say. Okay. The D23 Expo dropped lots of stuff just yesterday. So I was like scrambling for exactly what I wanted to talk about. And it's not everything, but we have someone that's in our group, affectionately known as Mike from New York, that he is our trailer drop guy. So I kind of let him take the lead on what I'm going to highlight for the D23 Expo drops. All right. And I'm just going to show these first, and then I'll still get into what I watched. But man, first one, I'm way down here at the bottom now, because I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, was the trailer for Secret Invasion. I'm not a big Secret Invasion fan to begin with, so I don't really know how much I'm gonna care about this coming out. I'll definitely check it out, of course. Either one of you all excited for that, or?
Yeah, I first of all, I really like the series, the comic series, the first one at least.
Yeah, well, that's what I was referring to when I said I really wasn't even into it with the comics. Yeah.
I really liked it, but this looks like it has not that much to do with the comic book version. Of course, they didn't really show a lot.
Yeah.
But I definitely I'm on board.
But what you could tell from the trailer doesn't seem like it's tracking with the comics that much, though. Anyway.
Well, no, but I guess it would kind of be hard to do. They would have to spend and get a lot of different actors back, and it would just be impossible. They're definitely going a different route, but
gotcha.
We'll see what happens.
How about you, Mike? You like Secret Invasion? Did you read that back in the day?
I didn't read any of it. No.
Yeah. All right. Next one that definitely wasn't on my radar, but after I saw this trailer, it is now. Man, Werewolf by Night. This trailer was so awesome. I loved it. First of all, did you guys watch this trailer?
Yes.
It's good, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, Patrick.
No, I just was saying, yeah, that's all. I had not heard a thing about this. I don't know if this was a total surprise to everybody.
Yeah, it was to me, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I knew that the show was coming, but I didn't know how soon. And yeah, Mike just blew up everything yesterday, dropped all these trailers, and I was so excited for them. But we got caught up in Peaky Blinders, and we're kind of spent a lot of time watching that show yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to watch these.
That's a great show. I like that show a lot. But I got a couple questions, and I don't know if either one of you are going to be able to answer this anyway. Is this all going to be in black and white? And Patrick, do you know?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Man, the entire trailer is black and white, so seems like it could be. And man, I was digging it. It really gave you that old school feel, you know. And man, this looked creepy too. Looked like literally scary, right? I mean, this
Yeah.
doesn't seem like a Disney show. You know, we've talked about with other shows lately how it's kind of surprising that they're doing some things at Disney. If this is as scary as the trailer makes it out to be, I'll be like, wow, I can't believe Disney's made this. You know, because it totally looked creepy. I didn't get any kind of lighthearted nature, kind of comedy, anything like that from any of this. It's just straight up in your face horror, right? Did you get that impression too, Pat?
It's kind of the way they're playing it, unless they're going to go for like a little bit of campiness like the trailer had, you know, sort of a throwback vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's in black and white. That takes, it takes a lot of guts to do that because so many people are turned off by black and white. You know.
Yeah, but
needs it.
It's awesome though. The trailer, of course. I'll probably be watching it multiple times. All right, and I've got something else to say about this trailer too. And I'm gonna do a new test here. This is new. I'm going to flash this up before I say a spoiler alert. So a spoiler alert for the trailer is inbound. If you haven't seen the trailer yet and you don't want to hear something that could be a spoiler, check out. And basically what I'm going to do with spoiler alerts now is I'm going to obviously note that a spoiler alert is inbound, show that picture, and then I'm going to put this up in the corner so that if you want to check out, all you have to do is mute us. And then when that spoiler alert icon in the corner goes away, you know it's safe to unmute us.
Good deal.
Is that all clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Swamp Thing is in the trailer?
Man Thing. I thought I saw him. Yeah, I thought I saw him in there.
Oh, Man Thing. Yeah. I didn't even see. I haven't watched it again since I got it. If you want to call it spoiled, I got it spoiled by someone else that was talking about it. And I didn't even see him in the trailer. Did you? But you saw him?
Yeah, I meant to go back and then I forgot to do it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go back as well and find them if they're right.
I saw the screen capture of it.
Okay. Yeah, it's towards the end.
Oh, okay.
Just a quick flash.
But that's pretty cool.
Flash is in it too. Sorry, that's cheap. That was low.
Okay.
You do that when I take a drink, Mike.
Sorry.
All right, now
that's a cool poster.
Yeah. So they showed the final trailer for Andor.
That's a cool poster too. Jeez, the colors.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's awesome. I would love to have all these posters. And there really wasn't too much more than just kind of more of the same from the other trailers in this one. But it did inform me, and I don't know whether other people knew this, but it informed me for the first time that when Andor drops on September 21st, so we're 10 days away, they're dropping 3 episodes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I like that. So that was cool new info. And I don't have a graphic for Willow. They showed the Willow too, and I didn't realize that's Willow's going to be a straight up sequel from the movie. It's not like a complete separate thing. It's just a sequel. Did y'all know that?
Yeah,
No.
looks like it. Yep.
And Andor's a prequel. Can't be a sequel, right?
Yeah, Andor is
you haven't seen Rogue One.
It's a prequel to a prequel because it's before Rogue One. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's a prequel.
To a prequel.
That's awesome. And then we saw the Mandalorian season 3 trailer. I think I guess I have to take that one down, of course. And man, that was fun. That was good. I enjoyed that, man. I'm a big Mandalorian fan. Not just literally the show, The Mandalorian, but Mandalorians in general. And in the season 3 trailer, we get obviously Bo-Katan, which we have seen before, obviously. And then more the Death Watch. And then I do believe that Sabine Wren is in there too. It was like somebody that's definitely looks extremely like Sabine Wren. If it isn't Sabine Wren, it's real, and it's just real quick at the beginning. But man, Mandos over Mandos over Mandos through that entire trailer. So I'm like, yes. I hope this is everything Boba Fett wasn't. You know, can't get enough of the Mandos. So
we get some R5D4 in there.
Huh?
Looked like R5D4.
Oh, I didn't even see it. I didn't even notice R5D4. I love R5D4. He's awesome.
With Pelimoto.
Okay. So you did you? Oh, you didn't get a chance to watch this trailer either, Mike?
I didn't watch any of the trailer. I saw the very first one for Andor, but that's it. That was like last week.
All right. Well, let me tell you this, Mike, and this is for everybody listening and watching as well. You want to check out any of the trailers? This is the one I recommend checking out first. This is, in my opinion, the best one that dropped. Star Wars Tales of the Jedi cartoon.
Yeah, I think this surprised me. I don't think I heard about this. So
I hadn't heard about it either, but oh my God, it is awesome.
I'll probably watch Werewolf by Night trailer first.
Yeah, I know you never take my advice anyway. That's fine.
I like werewolves.
We get to see the origins. Well, I'm assuming it's the origins of Darth Tyrannus, also known as Count Dooku. That's who this picture is.
Yeah, that's really, yeah.
It's awesome, right? Yeah.
Very interested in that.
Yes. And we get to see baby Ahsoka Tano, I guess, so we get a little bit more of a history of Ahsoka, which is awesome as well. And then, I love Clone Wars. I mention anytime I have an opportunity. I love the Clone Wars animated series so much. This seems to be, just like that. And just more of it. So yes, please, thank you. And man, I can't get enough of. Obviously, there's so much. I mean, in all these great, all this fan fiction we have. Star Wars, whether it's Star Wars, obviously superheroes, to Harry Potter, to just everything. There are so many gaps in the past to fill. There's so much great opportunity. So I'm super excited for that Tales of the Jedi, man. That was great. And Tales of the Jedi drops on October 26th. And that Werewolf by Night drops October 7th. So, I mean, all this stuff is like imminent, which is great. Not that we don't have so much to watch already. I mean, with you said you finished Sandman, Pat.
Yeah, we were up till 1:00 finishing that up last night.
Was that by choice, or did it just suck you in? You couldn't stop.
We didn't want to leave off the 10th episode because that was the end of that was really the end of the story right there. 11 was sort of a bonus, but we just stayed up for that one too. We could have waited on that one, but we just decided to keep going.
I don't have a final verdict yet. What's your final verdict?
Man, we loved it. It's great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I mean, I still got Sandman to do. I got we got Lord of the Rings. We got Game of Thrones. Now we're gonna get Andor. Where I mean, it's just so much. You could just make a
Cobra
career of
Kai.
watching.
Cobra Kai
What
season 5.
would you say? I'm sorry, Mike. Say it-
Cobra Kai season 5.
Oh yeah, Cobra Kai came out too. Yep. So yeah. So anyway, okay, let's backpedal a little bit. I just wanted to mention one thing real quick. With this Orville journey, I mean, I'm still watching Orville, and I think I've got like 2 episodes to go before I'm completely done with what they currently have out. But I just wanted to mention there's a 2-part episode. It's called Identity. In season 2, that I was talking about how this, moves into a more serious Star Trek realm, later. And man, this 2-part episode of Identity, they've actually get in a fight with, what is basically kind of Klingon equivalents. They're called Krill. And then they have an android on their ship that is a race of androids. And there's this big 3-way battle in space on this 2-part episode. And man, it is awesome. I thought it was, I was watching it thinking, man, I would love this if it was in a theater. They did such a great job, in my opinion, with the special effects of this humongous 100+ ship battle in space. I was extremely impressed with how good that was. And then, of course, like I said, the content of the episodes, aside from, how we get to this battle, was great. And then there's 2 subsequent episodes to those 2. Man, it's like I said, it just keeps impressing me as I go along. So I just want to touch on that real quick. Now I'll get into a couple movies I watched. Prospect. Talking about Mandalorian a little bit there. This Pedro Pascal is in this. This is out in 2018. I watched this on Hulu. And let me tell you.
That looks cool.
Yeah. Again, another cool poster, right? Rocking with cool posters today. But man, this was so good. And I like to kind of tell how I got here as far as this is concerned. Once again, and this is kind of the way I go. I'm setting up the Whatnot show, and I just got stuff on in the background. Hulu recommends, and excuse me, this one popped up, and I actually had seen the trailer for this. It could have been a couple years ago, maybe last year. It's been a while, and I was like, I don't think so. But since I was doing the Whatnot show, I was thinking, I want something that I don't really care that much about, so I just hit play. Sure enough, it totally jammed me up. I wasn't able to get my show ready on time because I totally got sucked into this because this was so good. I really loved it. And I was, like I said, pleasantly surprised. And just to give a general breakdown of this, this is, in the future, and we're kind of mining all over all kinds of planets, and we see this father and daughter land on a planet. I can't remember what planet it was, and they found this deposit of this very valuable mineral that everybody's mining for. And then Pedro Pascal and a couple of his buddies come around, and madness ensues. I will say this. Okay, here we go. Spoiler alert is inbound. See if I can get a handle on this. If you want to check out, I will I'll be done with the spoiler when that spoiler alert icon in the top right-hand corner goes away. So just mute me, but then come back when that spoiler alert icon goes away. All right. It's not really huge, but like I said, I just wanted to mention this because it happens pretty early. But Pedro Pascal and his buddies kill the father of this little girl, and actually then 75% of the movie is this relationship that Pedro and the little girl form, and it's done super well. By the end of the movie, they're like partners, and I won't say exactly how it ends, but the evolution of the relationship is awesome. Did you say something?
If he killed her father, it should end in revenge.
Yeah, well, check it out. You'll see.
Does he get a little spaceship where she can ride in a little bubble behind him?
No.
Okay.
But I think you mentioned when Mandalorian when he got in the Naboo starfighter, you said that bubble was a you're wondering what can perfectly fit in that bubble, and your prediction was verified in the Mandalorian season 3 trailer, right? You see that where Grogu was in the bubble on the Naboo starfighter?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Anyway, but no, there is no bubbles in the ships behind this Pedro Pascal. But like I said, big recommend on this prospect. I'd give it 8.5.
Over.
Say again.
Is the spoiler over?
Thanks, Mike. See, I'm gonna need some practice here. All right. So yeah, prospect. Oh man, no one got to hear because I had the spoiler thing up. All the clever banter about the Mandalorian either. Should we rewind? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, prospect. I give it an 8.5.
Wow.
Maybe a 9, but it's super awesome. I loved it. All right, then I watched Secret Headquarters, which is on Paramount Plus.
Wow.
Is this a sequel to Nintendo's Power Glove?
All right, hear me out on this one.
I don't know if I'm gonna. Can I? Is there a spoiler? Can I mute you? Spoiler: this movie looks terrible.
So obviously Owen Wilson, there he is, doing his best Iron Man impression. And Michael Pena, in my opinion, the biggest place I know him from is Ant-Man's storytelling partner. He's awesome. He's in this. Say it again, Mike.
I like him. Maybe I will watch this now.
Yeah, he's funny, right? And this movie does not take itself seriously. This is a comedy, and it's mostly, I should say, it's mostly a comedy, but it's definitely it wants to be an action flick, which it does that as well. But this is mostly like a Goonies story. Owen Wilson, I don't even think is in the movie for maybe 5 minutes in the first 75% of the movie. He's like, it really isn't, he's the biggest part of this poster, but he isn't the biggest part of this movie. The biggest part of the movie are the 4 kids in the middle there. Actually, is there 3 kids? 4, yeah. 5.
5 kids.
Yeah. They're the biggest part of this movie. They the one kid is Owen Wilson's son. Owen Wilson none of this is spoiler either. This is what you just know like immediately. Owen Wilson is a superhero, and his son doesn't know it, and he comes across Owen Wilson's secret headquarters, and then lots of other craziness happens in that event that I won't even spoil any of it. It's not a lot to spoil in this movie anyway. It's pretty predictable, but it is family friendly, kids, Goonie type story of just the adventure of these kids, but everything in it is campy and comedy, and I didn't hate it. I thought I would hate it. Maybe not hate, but I didn't think I would really like this. Again, I always use Spy Kids as a reference of like corny kids movies that are kind of like that. And this is kind of like that, which I'm not really that big of a Spy Kids type movie fan, but I actually like this one. It's got a few things, especially towards the end, that really make it pay off for me. I'll give it a 7. It's not bad. Check it out. I think honestly, both of y'all would be pleasantly surprised as well. So,
where's that? Is it on? It just says streaming, I guess.
It's on Paramount. Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus. It's brand new. Yeah.
Where was Prospect?
Prospect is on Hulu.
Gotcha.
Yep. Okay, and then I guess we'll just talk about this real quick. She-Hulk.
I'm guessing you're not a fan of this episode either.
Yeah, man. I just. Well, let me ask you this. I got a big question for you. And this is comics related, but just a little bit of logic related too. Why, when she becomes She-Hulk, does her hair become long and glamorous? Is that how the comics work too?
That her skin turns green and she gets real big. I think her hair gets better too.
Okay.
What does the Red Hulk not have a mustache when he turns into the Red Hulk? Comic books. That's my answer.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're right. He doesn't. Well, that's what I was going to ask you two anyway. That does the Hulk's hair change? I don't think the Hulk's hair doesn't change when he changes, right?
That's pretty basic.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's basic and it stays basic, right?
It looks like it has more body and stuff.
I mean, her hair gets all long and glamorous. It not only, like I said, it not only gets long, but it gets glamorous too. It's like all shiny and perfect. It's and then I think she's actually cute. Not She-Hulk. She's cute. She's pretty, but what's the actress's name? Do you remember? Whatever.
Tatiana Maslany.
All right, let's just say the character's name.
Jen Walters.
Yeah. As Jen Walters, she's cute, but I feel like they intentionally try to make her kind of an ugly duckling or something. I don't know. But anyway, I noted that, especially in this episode with the events that happened in this episode, where she goes on dates and stuff, which that was awesome. I really enjoyed it. They really kind of tried to ugly her. I don't know, but she's a cute lady. If she had the same hair or anywhere remotely close to the same hair as She-Hulk, she's cute. So I don't know. Do you feel like they were intentionally doing that for the purpose of this episode, Pat?
I didn't even notice that.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed how glamorous her hair looks. I noticed the transformation. I think just in general, they kind of keep Jen Walters with that kind of the cute, reserved kind of look. And then as She-Hulk, then, she's the confident, striking, more sexy character.
I'm glad you said that, because I think it should be exactly the opposite. She should be cute and, pretty and made up and stuff. When she becomes the Hulk, that's when she should be ugly down. That would make more sense to me.
Just I think you got to get the comic books for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just logical talking right now, that, but you know what I'm saying? It would make more sense if the Hulk was ugly, but anyway, what do I know? So in this episode, just to recap it real quick, we get to see her date life and how she deals with that as She-Hulk. And then we get a magician that used to be or tried to be a sorcerer, or tried to be join the Sorcerer Supreme, whatever, Doctor Strange's guys. So Wong is in this episode, and the magician learned a little bit, but then they kicked him out, or he quit or something. I couldn't remember which one. Which one was that, Pat?
He just couldn't cut it as being trained in the mystical arts.
Okay, so he learned a little bit, enough to use it to be a magician in the real world, or in the normal world, not in the sorcerer world. And he starts abusing it, and that's what gets Wong involved. And it is kind of funny that Wong is hiring her to try to get him to stop. Or no, he wanted to sue her at first, or he wanted her to help him sue him at first. So I mean, there's some funny parts in this.
What episode are you talking about?
The latest one.
And what's the end?
Okay, sorry. Well, there's no spoilers there. I'm just basically giving a recap of the episode. But anyway, I won't say exactly what happens, but that's kind of the gist of this episode. And
it'd be like a spoiler episode. I'm down here and be like, pause, spoiler.
no. Sorry, got some interruptions here. Sorry about it. Patrick, what do you think of this episode?
I really liked it. I mean, I'm liking the whole series though. So,
wow. I mean, I get it though. Hey, if you like She-Hulk, I guess you're getting exactly what you know from what you're saying, which that definitely makes me happy. But yeah, this just isn't my jam. So, Mike, have you checked this out yet?
Yeah, we're caught up on She-Hulk, and well, Emily missed the first episode. She wasn't real interested in watching it, but she kind of caught herself sitting down watching it with me. I'm enjoying it. There are little things that annoy me. I think I sent you a text, Kevin, about it, where it just seems like the men that are portrayed in it are just buffoons, dirtbags.
Yeah.
I think there's one man in the show that, outside of one, I mean, he's awesome, but I think there's one lawyer that is kind of a stand-up guy.
Her dad.
Her
dad. Yeah.
But the whole dating thing. Okay, I get it. There are dirtbags out there, but and then even the one that. Do you want to put the spoiler up? Sorry.
Do we want to? Are these really spoilers?
No, it's. I'm enjoying the show, but there are little things that just don't sit right with me. But it's not enough to make me not watch it because it is funny. Some of the CGI sometimes when she's She-Hulk is a little bit, off, yeah. But
are you noticing that more, Patrick? Because you said you didn't notice that before. Is that standing out a little bit more to you now, or no?
Just every once in a while. Yeah. But I feel like it's when I start really focusing in just on her, then you start to notice it. If you just were, I think normally watching it, it might be okay. But I definitely I think in the episode prior to this one, even Chelsea commented that, when she was walking in her law office in her suit, it just seemed off,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still, I'm enjoying it. Emily's enjoying it because the funny parts are funny. Funny stuff.
Yeah, I'll give it that. But I would say, I'm not enjoying it for the most part. Although, I'm going to say one thing too. And, since we've got millions of people watching this, maybe this might get back to Disney. But actually, I had a favorite moment with her in this episode. And I don't know how this is going to come across, see if I can articulate it very well. But when, she gets a boyfriend as She-Hulk, or she gets a date and she likes him as She-Hulk. And then the next morning, she is Jen again, and he sees that, and he's disappointed or whatever, and just kind of leaves. Her reaction to that was the first moment that I really cared for her as a character. I felt bad. I was like, man, that was harsh, and she acted it well. She was kind of like humbled. She wasn't like this, I don't know if I'd call her arrogant, but like uber confident, obviously, and expresses that all the time person. I don't really care for her like that too much. But this part where she basically became more real to me in that moment. Do you remember that moment?
Mm-hmm.
Did she kind of come across that way to you at all, or didn't that kind of stand out to you, Patrick?
No, it didn't. Yeah, I don't think I really noticed it as much as you did, I guess.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good scene. She did really well with it. But I see her as Jen Walters. I don't see her as overly confident. I think she has some confidence, but I don't see her as overly confident,
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I think she knows she's a good lawyer. She's just kind of
insecure
about other aspects of her life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. As maybe her appearance as this was kind of the focus of this, her having to become She-Hulk to get a date or whatever. But yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, she is. That's when she comes across as uber confident, when she's being a lawyer, which is obviously a big focus of the show. And I will say that the scene where they actually try the case too, there was some. I liked Wong's new bestie. She was pretty funny.
Holy cow! Yeah, I saw a picture somebody had put up. It's like the spin-off series. We didn't know we wanted, and it has those two. I mean,
yeah,
he was
Wong and his bestie.
Well, I like how she was spoiling The Sopranos for him.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I totally
I'm going, I didn't watch the spoiler, or I didn't watch Sopranos yet either. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
You think Wong, with being, the Sorcerer Supreme, he'd have a little more, things on his docket than to binge watch The Sopranos all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another thing about this. Maybe this is why I'm not liking this very much either, because I don't think they're coming up with. You know how you have to balance danger when you're trying to just focus on one hero and their life, and then saving, or stopping whatever crime or whatever incident is happening. You have to have a balance there. It can't be so huge that you're wondering why aren't the Avengers there, but it's got to be big enough to rate She-Hulk, and then Wong's in, and that just feels a little bit off with this as well. I mean, demons are dangerous, so anyway. I'm still not feeling it. Although now we are, what's this, episode 4, right? So we've gotten 2 after credit scenes that I didn't care for, and 2 that I did care for a lot because I like this one. It was pretty funny. So
I think one thing I think they got across in this one, maybe subtly, is that finally showing, I think, if She-Hulk evolves and eventually is in a bigger movie like an Avengers movie, I think this is a good first step, that she can be in that action realm too, where she could, this could be her funny side in this show, but she could also, kick butt in an Avengers movie as a more serious hero too. Even though she's still novice in this one, but
yeah.
I wanted to see more fighting action, like when she was fighting the little demon things. I was like, here we go. This is what I was waiting for.
Yeah, that was most of that was pretty corny to me too, but I'm glad y'all are liking it. All right, so that is it. That's enough, but that's it for me. That is everything I watched. Oops, sorry.
And while we're on the movie thing and TV show thing, I think I shared with you guys, Paper Girls has been canceled or not picked up by Prime for season 2, which is disappointing.
Yeah, I was glad to hear that you liked that too, because I've been considering watching it. I tried to ask Ayla if she wanted to watch it with me. I think she may have already watched it though. But I meant to check that out. You said it was really good, huh?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Did you see that, Pet?
No.
That's a comic, right?
What's that?
That's a comic, right?
Yeah.
This is, what Mike had brought up about, streaming services and not supporting, shows to their end. That Neil Gaiman keeps chirping about, maybe there might not be a season 2 of The Sandman, even though it's performing well. It's just so finicky.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's all based on new subscriptions, because they can tell, when you subscribe, the first shows that you watch, and that kind of dictates on what your interests are in their eyes, I guess. So
yeah, you mentioned that, and I was a little bit surprised to hear you say that. So where'd you read that? I mean, it's really based on new subs, not views. That doesn't seem to make sense.
I think like Patrick said, I think Neil has been pretty vocal about it, where he said, look, we're not guaranteed a season 2. Season 1 was successful, for reviews it was popular, it was popular on, being in the top 10 and all that stuff on Netflix. But if it didn't generate new subscribers, then in Netflix, in the streamer's eyes, it's not worth the money they're spending because it's a very expensive show. I don't know how expensive Paper Girls was, but there are a lot of effects in that.
Well, how can they connect those dots though? So if a bunch of new stuff comes out, and then a bunch of subscriptions, then they get a bunch of new subscriptions. How can they connect it to one show or another or a couple? I mean, that, like I said, it just doesn't make any sense.
I agree. I think what Neil had said, what I read was they track the first shows that you watch, and they dictate like that's why you subscribed, that's why you signed up. Like what did we years ago we signed up for Hulu to watch a show called Defending Jacob. And Chris Evans is in that, and that was that we signed up for Hulu, and that's the first thing we watched, and that was the whole reason we signed up for Hulu. So I think they put too much stock into that because we've kept our subscription and we watched other stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess if at some point you're not going to get new subscribers because a large portion of the do you guys know people that don't have a Netflix subscription?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was going to be my next point. Is how many can they have?
Right.
Anyway,
so.
Did you see I watched a minute of Reggie Collects yesterday too about DC fandom was canceled too. Did you see that?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
I guess they're saying that's just because they only did that during COVID, but now that they can have conventions and stuff again, it's not necessary, so they canceled it. Which, I don't know how good of a call that seems to be. Why not have a special DC fandom and announce your own stuff rather than putting it in? I don't, but anyway.
DC as a whole, things are so up in the air right now. But I was going to say that's the one good thing Sandman might have going for it is, if Netflix doesn't want it, they've got DC. But do they have DC? I don't know. Who knows what's going on with them?
Yeah,
there's a lot of changes coming for DC with with everything. So who knows? It's terrible to see these great shows just go away because of everything's about money.
Yeah,
there's got to be ways to make money off of the shows outside of the subscription. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
merchandise.
Man, when I do the math on pretty much one of these really huge, epic, big budget shows, let alone how many there actually are, the math doesn't add up for me in general. So I don't even know how they're making it to begin with, but
Right.
So. All right. Any other chime-ins on what you watched?
Resident Alien. Anybody still got
right. I forgot the new season.
Yeah, the second half of the second season.
I did not. Yeah. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, we loved everything we saw, so I can't wait to get back to it.
There's a lot of more heartfelt moments in this season. There's a lot of family interaction that hits close to home, at least for me, and it's been really good.
Yeah, I'll probably have to get back to that too. Since I'm a professional now, I gotta suck it up, even if I'm not liking it, So
you liked what you've seen of that so far, haven't you?
There was just a couple last episodes the last time I watched it that I didn't care for, so I didn't get back to it. But most of it I did enjoy it. Yeah,
you're always wondering when he's gonna turn good.
right, exactly. That was part of it. Yeah,
the slow burn.
Yeah, and then we watched the first season of Peaky Blinders, which kids don't watch that show.
Yeah.
Adults watch it. It's awesome. And now I want of course, all the songs. I'm like, a lot of Nick Cave on there, so I love it. Jack White and stuff. So, yeah, I was looking up the vinyl for that. $50.
And you mentioned Cobra Kai too. Did you check any of those out yet?
No. Funny story.
Of the new season.
When season 3 came out, we binged it. And then we're like, oh my gosh, now we have to wait all this time for season 4. We never even watched season 4 when it came out. So we have 2 seasons.
That's usually how it happens with me too. I'll check out, and then when I get back to it, there's 2 seasons available. That's usually how it happens. What was the last one that happened for us on? We didn't even realize. Oh, I can't remember the name. It was about an autistic kid. We really like it. Man, I can't remember the name of it right now, but yeah, we were the same way after season 1. Man, this is really good. Hopefully, it comes out again. Then when we went back to it, there was season 2 and season 3 before we even checked it out again. But it's good stuff too.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Whew. Man, I feel like we could do complete episodes just on what we watched.
Well, it's more
Especially
fun when we've all watched it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when we've all watched stuff, it's even better. Yeah. So, all right. So that'll bring us to you again, Mike. Are you ready?
Oh, holy cow! Yeah, we're that time of the show already. Whew, where'd the time go?
All right, here we go. Hey, sorry, I didn't update that yet based on our conversation. That's going to be updated, though, next week.
Okay, that's all right. I'm never really watching those. I'm always shuffling my papers.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like David Letterman and those guys, with my papers, or Saturday Night Live, the news, getting my papers together.
Yeah.
So,
all right, what we got?
What we have here, the pick 3. All right, so I'll run down the books, and I had trouble this week. Once again, it seems like I hit 7 and then brick wall, and it's difficult to pick some more. But I ended up not enlisting Marcus this week. I was late getting it all together. So we have Iron Man 23, Alex Ross, Young Hellboy 2, Matthew Smith, King Spawn 4, the B cover by Thomas Naklick, Batman vs. Robin 1B, Joshua Middleton, Sergeant Werewolf #1, and I ordered this book. I can't wait to read it, by Rich Woodall, Flash, The Fastest Man Alive 1B, Juan Ferreira, that's a tough one. Spider-Punk 5, Takashi Akazaki. These are so hard. Jurassic League 5, Daniel Warren Johnson. Lady Shadowhawk 3D. I guess this book's in 3-dimensional. Jim Valentino and Philip Tan. And Mr. Easta by Kit Wallace. I've never heard of or seen Mr. Easta before, but that looks crazy.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Johnny and I had a real short conversation about The Last Shadowhawk and whether Jim Valentino did all that or Philip Tan kind of had a hand in that looking so awesome.
Yeah.
And I think Philip Tan did. So they're both on there. I assume that Philip did the inks because, it looks really great.
Yeah.
So here we go. And it was a small grouping where, of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, like 4 books got a lot of the votes.
All right.
And whoops, I almost did it back. Oh no, I am doing it the right way. I thought I was going to do it backwards. Alex Ross, #3. He always places, but usually he's #1. But
That cover is just too dark for me.
I do think a lot's lost. I think probably the physical copy, when we get it, it'll look great. But yeah, with a black background, it just gets lost in everything.
Yeah.
So that received 7 votes. That was really good. And we actually had a tie for first. So Both of these books received 8 votes, but the tiebreaker is what decided the number 2 book.
Okay. Wow.
We have Batman versus Robin, Joshua Middleton.
I figured that one would have won. That's a great cover. I love it.
Yeah, I thought this one was going to be number 1. I mean, at the end of the day, I wasn't surprised at what number 1 was, and I don't think you guys will be either.
I'm definitely going to grab this one because I kept saying Batman and Robin for like when I was talking to everybody about it, but it's Batman versus Robin. I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Really? Should there be a Batman versus Robin?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Anyway, I want this one, and it's the cardstock cover, so it's going to have a nice gloss to it and everything. This thing's going to look really good.
Yeah, Zatanna's like a way underrated character too, man. She is awesome.
Yeah,
I don't get this outfit or this cover.
What?
I'm the downer on this one. She's got her fishnets on the wrong parts of her body here. What's going on, man?
She's got her fishnets on the wrong parts of her body.
They're on her arms.
I can't see the one.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't look at that. I was yeah.
I like Josh Middleton a lot, but I do not like this cover at all.
Huh.
On that note, all right, let me see if Patrick voted for. Oh, that paper's downstairs. Anyway, number 1.
Jeez.
Flash, fastest man alive.
What, Pat? What?
I do not like this cover at all either. This is one of those Flash covers like I feel like I've seen a million times. Plus, it looks like he's throwing a package of hot dogs at you.
I hate it now.
That's true, actually.
What's with those squared off knuckles? I don't get that.
Those are
Is he wearing some kind of armored glove or something?
Are those his fingertips?
Could be. I don't know.
I took it as his fingertips, like cutting through the air.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna look at that closer here. Yeah, what's up with that?
And our next segment, Patrick.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that one. And you know, when I first saw this too, I thought his arm in the back was his leg and his foot. You know, like,
jeez,
that's what I originally thought. And I was like, oh wait, that's his arm and his hand. Yeah, I hate this cover now too.
His head is so egg shaped also on this cover. I don't know. Number 1, people, come on.
I ordered 5 copies of this cover because it's so awesome.
His alignment and proportion of his shoulders is off too. I mean, if you look at how his left arm is obviously coming at us and how that would make for his hand to be like that and his arm to be like that, where his shoulder is now, where his other shoulder has to be for his other arm to be completely behind him. It's like not right. Yeah. This is horrible cover.
Well, all 3 of them. Terrible.
I love that Alex Ross cover. I think that's really, man. I love the darkness of that with the Mandarin rings lighting up, and it looks like you guys take this as an homage to the Green Lantern cover.
No.
I'm
wearing all the rings.
I'm not familiar with. Oh, vaguely, yeah. I wonder. I'll have to go back and compare the 2. Anyway,
but once again, great segment, Mike.
I think you have the numbers back.
So that's a new segment.
That again.
What's that? Oh,
I think you have the numbers reversed.
So it should be
your instinct was right when you started. You said you were going to show them in the opposite order, and I think you were right.
Yep. All right. You know what? Cora didn't vote this week because she was sleeping. What do you think here? Well, it's hard to see that cover. What do you think of this one?
I can barely see it.
How about this one?
I don't like that one.
Okay, so with Cora's vote, Zatanna, Batman versus Robin is actually first place.
So what do you think? Let me make the screen larger. What do you think of that one?
Thank you, because I couldn't see. That one is nice. I like that one.
You like that one? All right.
Hey, put up the 10 again, real quick.
Oh Hold on, let me get back there over there. Whoops. Hold on. All right. So that, yeah. Boom.
Yeah, I don't like the Flash one. That one sticks out too much. I'm like,
Okay.
Yeah, I think that King Spawn should have been in the top 3.
A
Yeah.
lot of crotch shots.
Well,
That's cool.
King Spawn actually had 5. Oh yeah. Holy Spawn, Zatanna, Sergeant Werewolf got 6 votes.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. There was a variant for that, but I think it was a 1 in 50, and it actually the werewolf was real similar to American Werewolf in London, but it's a 1 in 50, and I don't use ratios for this.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to say this, Mike, and not to throw you under the bus here at all, but I'm going to do it a little bit. Maybe it's your fault because we got these out late and everybody rushed their choices. Maybe that's what it was. Would have been a completely different. No, I'm just kidding.
I will refuse to accept responsibility for everybody's poor choices.
Well, I'm going to accept the responsibility for my families because with me doing whatnot all weekend, I didn't even ask them until this morning, or remind them, I should say. Yeah. And I may have rushed them, which so could have been completely different had people not been rushed. So I'll take the brunt of that. So.
All right.
Nevertheless, though, I love seeing the 10 covers.
I would like if Johnny can ever find time to come on here, a segment for him would be Johnny can, because I think he's pretty good at covers, talking about covers and kind of pointing out the good and the bad on them.
Yeah. Tom's like that too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Patrick's pretty good at it too. He was, but Patrick's plate is already full.
Pointing out the bad. I should be more positive and point out the good.
Yeah.
Well, if we never pick any of your favorite covers, you never have the opportunity to.
I love the red.
There you go. Yeah, that is good, red and yellow. It looks fast.
You're right.
All right.
Okay, are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's get into some reviews. All right, it looks like I'm first. I wish I could randomize where we are on the screen while the video's playing. That'd be fun because you guys don't know who's first when it comes back, Yeah. But today it's me, which I'm good with. I read, and this was kind of a tribute to my weekend and last night in particular. I read Spawn 322.
332?
I'm sorry, 332. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for the correction. And anyway, I think 333 is out now. I haven't actually picked that up yet. So I just read the most recent one I had. Man, I haven't read a Spawn in a while. And just to kind of keep this short and sweet, man, I love Spawn. I mean, obviously I love Spawn in general as a character, but man, I really like the Spawn comics with the way they're written and stuff too. And it always seems like there's like a new character constantly in Spawn, which I love that kind of creativity. And so to break this down, I'll try to keep it short and sweet. This guy on the cover, his name is Sin. Are you guys familiar with him at all?
No, he looks cool though.
Yeah, he's awesome. He it's actually a character named Cogliostro. Was kind of hiding. He was hiding as Cogliostro, and Spawn was kind of getting help from him for a while, and then it ends up he becomes this real baddie, similar to he's a hell spawn as well, named Sin. And the beef of this story is I always forget how to say the lead demon's name in Spawn. Like literally, even when I was reading Spawn, I couldn't say his name right. Do you have that, Pat?
No.
Okay, so the head demon in hell is dead, and so the king of hell, there isn't one right now, and this guy wants to be him. And he needs Spawn to open a dead zone so he can get there. And that's kind of what this, the gist of this, kind of the story arc that's currently happening is. And this was a great issue because Cygor is in this. I love Cygor. You love Cygor, Mike?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Got the ape. Cygor's in this. Overkill's in this. Haunt is in this. That's what else I love about all these Spawn books too. I mean, they're got a lot of supporting cast every comic too, and but basically, like I said, this is definitely great. This is and I'm just gonna say for everybody, not just Spawn fans, you must have this.
Wow.
Yeah, the Spawn title in general, just get it, and I'm going to be better at. This is going to be one of mine that I'm going to keep on top of and just keep reading them. I've been saying that for years, but now that we've got this going on, I'm gonna stick to it. And but this is a great book, and I really like the story. All the supporting cast is in it. The art is great. I don't have my information of the writer and artist.
Rory McConville.
Okay.
And the artist is Carlo Barberi.
Thank you, Pat. But good stuff. I think we talked about what?
I was going to say, Francisco Mattina did the cover. He never used to sign his stuff, and now it looks like he's signing it.
Yeah, I remember you. I think I remember you commenting on that not too long ago. It must be a recent development where he started to sign his books.
That's an interesting signature too. It's like really not a signature. It's just it's like a stamp name, right? Just Matt. Anyway, so yeah, get this. Like I said, trying to keep it. Oh crap! Sorry about it. Trying to keep things short and sweet with the reviews. So that's what I have to say about Spawn 332.
Kind of wish I didn't stop getting. I stopped getting all the Spawn books.
Incidentally, if anybody's wondering, I was thinking that was maybe the first appearance of Sin, but his first appearance is actually in Spawn Universe #1. So, which I have a bunch of those as well, and I tried to sell some of those last night too, but didn't happen. That's actually the only McFarlane signature I have is on Spawn Universe #1 as well. Okay, Pat, you're up.
Okay. Pulling from the scrap heap of my internet disaster last week, I've brought along Amazing Spider-Man #6/900. This is by Zeb Wells and Ed McGuinness, guest artist. This was a massive $9.99 book, 86 pages. But the coolest thing about this is the main story by Zeb Wells and Ed McGuinness is 70 of those pages. So that's a massive undertaking right there.
Yeah.
Usually, I think you all agree with me. A lot of these anniversary books are filled with stuff you don't really want.
Uh-huh.
Not the case here. There are 3 short backup stories. One actually just a 2-pager from Dan Slott. But the main thrust of this is all this main story with artwork by Ed McGuinness. The only unfortunate thing about that is it looks like he worked with maybe 3 or 4 different inkers and colorists. So there's a little bit of variance there, but it's all pretty cool Ed McGuinness artwork. And this is his, I think this was the variant cover, a variant cover. I'm sure there was a boatload, but I picked up the Ed McGuinness cover. That's the double page, or front and back that you see there.
I don't like this cover.
You don't like it?
Oh my
You know
gosh,
why?
Because you don't know
It's
what
upside
one
down.
you're trying to figure out what.
One at a time. What'd you say, Pat?
Upside down.
It's upside down. Look at it. It's upside down. I can't even. I have to look at it like this.
It's not upside down.
Spidey's
No,
upside
Spider-Man's upside down.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, it'd be cool though if it looks great, except for the fact Spider-Man's. You can't see Spidey.
I have to start remembering this, because when we talked about the Batman cover a long time ago, I actually did rotate the image, and I was ready to spring that on you. And I got to remember that for future reference, to have an alternate rotated version just for you, Kevin.
Thanks, I appreciate that. This one you'd be in trouble either way, though. If you flipped it the other way, the other guy'd be upside down.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's kind of the case a lot of the times, where at least somebody is upside down. But yeah, we'll see. I'll have to remember that.
Okay.
Anyway, dealing with the book, basically the villain, the quote unquote villain of the story, is the living brain, who is pulled from, he goes clear back to Amazing Spider-Man number 8 in 1964 by Stan Lee.
Wow.
And Steve Ditko. And it appears there, there was an original living brain. There's been some different versions of them along the way, but this living brain has continued to evolve, and he's basically a brain. He's morphed and grown and gained more knowledge as he went along. But back in that issue, the whole thrust of it was they were using this living brain to find an answer to who is Spider-Man, and that has continued in this issue, where this living brain has developed an avatar in the real world, and he captures Spider-Man's friends at a birthday party for Peter, and he also captures the Sinister Six, and he also has a super adaptoid, going way back to the Avengers Day, where this adaptoid could mimic all the powers of the Avengers. Here, the living brain uses the Sinister Six to imprint all their powers onto this adaptoid to create the Sinister adaptoid. Doc Ock, he was a member of the Sinister Six. His tentacles escape and alert Spider-Man, but mainly because this goes back to Dan Slott's days, where Doc Ock eventually became Spider-Man, and the arms kind of have some kind of deep-rooted affection for Peter Parker, even though Doc Ock's brain was inside Peter Parker at the time. So the arms go and search Peter Parker out. But this is all part of the living brain's plans to put Spidey through his paces and interrogate all of Peter's friends, because he wants that answer to the question, who is Spider-Man? But as it turns out, we find out that is a deeper meaning to that question. After a series of events, we see Spidey eventually teaming with the Sinister Six to defeat the Sinister Adaptoid. And of course, the Sinister Six predictably turns on Spidey at the end when,
of course,
when they locate the living brain, and they decide, he's so powerful, something must be done. Sinister Six wants to kill the living brain because he captured them and used their memories to create the adaptoid. But of course, Spider-Man's not going to allow that. And that's when the living brain gets the true answer to who is Spider-Man. He finds out that it's somebody that would sacrifice him, even for someone like the living brain who did all these evil things. The answer isn't Peter Parker. It's the actions of Spider-Man and who he is as a person. So that kind of is the whole thrust behind this, is, getting to know the character of Spider-Man.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And one of the neatest things about this, to wrap up the review, is that for the Sinister Adaptoid, when he's fighting Spider-Man, all the dialogue that is used when he's fighting Spider-Man was pulled from the actual books by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. So he took snippets of their dialogue from the old books and used that for all the instances where the sinister adaptoid was speaking to Spider-Man, which I thought was a cool little touch.
That is cool. Did you remember that, or did you read that somewhere?
It was in a letters page. It's one of those things where it just comes across as the villain ranting, but then when you read it in the letters page and you find out that it's all Stan Lee's dialogue, it clicks in your brain. You're like, oh yeah, of course, that sounded just like Stan Lee.
That's cool.
So yeah, I think this worked great as a big landmark issue. Even though I can always criticize Marvel for double dipping and getting you to fork out money for the 6th issue of a ongoing, which just had a double size, or larger size #1 issue.
Yeah.
But this one actually felt, where the money, whether you got it as a discount or paid full price, it's kind of justified because that main story is so long and was done by one creative team and a superstar artist in Ed McGuinness. So it's definitely a get it. I know it's a kind of a hard sell because of the cover price. If you just want to dip your toes into Spider-Man, but it's a good. By the way, it's definitely a standalone issue. I have not been a big fan so far of this Zeb-Wells Spider-Man 1 through 5. And this big mystery behind Peter Parker did some shenanigans and everybody's against him. But this one could have stood alone. It does stand alone. You could read this by itself. And it looks like they're getting back into the main storyline with #7, which is actually already out. I think I have 7 and 8, but a little behind. So yeah, definitely a get it, bordering on must have if you want to ignore the cover price and check out some good there's a lot of good humor, a lot of good art, and I think you would enjoy it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that cover looks like the one to get. I have the A cover, which John Romita Jr. had done, and I'm not a fan of his work anymore, but or his current work. I still like his older stuff. Yeah, and that thing's just that's great.
Yeah.
Everybody's upright on the A cover, Kevin, so it's right up your alley. Yeah, well, I'm sold on that.
Yeah, me too. All right, what you got, Mike?
All right, mine's going to be really short. Get the trade paperback. Thank you very much. So, I didn't read all 3. This is The Closet. I read #1 by James Tynion III and Gavin Fullerton. All 3 issues are out. I just read #1. And so you've got 3 main characters. It's a family. Tom is the father. Maggie is the mother, their husband and wife. And then Jamie is the son. And they're all getting ready to move cross country. So they're packing up. And Tom is out. He went out to buy some tape, and he's at a bar kind of reflecting on his life and things like that, just talking to the bartender. And you find he just doesn't do things. He messes up all the time. And his marriage is a bit strained. So the bartender kind of gives him some advice on how to deal with his son and his son's fears at night. So he goes home. His wife is angry at him because she can smell the beer on him. He got the wrong kind of tape, and he tries this thing that the bartender said about how to ease his son's fears at night, and he messes that up as well. So he just can't do anything right. Let's see. Find my notes here. So he doesn't do it's basically this thing he sprays some water around to keep the monsters away. He messes that up. The boy still ends up going to bed, and the monster still ends up coming out of the closet. So that's where we are. And one thing that the father tries to tell the boys, the closet is going to stay in their apartment. They're moving out west to a house where he won't have those monsters anymore. But I think they end up following them out there. The artwork is really, really great. A lot of heavy blacks in this, which I think are really, really great. There's some examples of the art there.
I need to get interior shots like you get. I like that. So I need to do that too.
Yeah, just real simple stuff. It's kind of reminiscent of Samney a little bit, which I like his art style too. It's good. It's not really great. I would say if you're gonna get this, get the trade paperback, which comes out in October. Pass on the individuals if you haven't got them yet. So it's kind of a
This is only 3 issues, total of 3 issues for the whole series?
yeah, it's just 3 issues. So
Okay.
it's kind of a forget it in singles. Get the trade if you can, if you're interested. But
That number 3, was that the monster or the father?
well,
Uh-oh.
can you put that
Say no
spoiler?
more. Say no more.
Yeah, I was looking at that because all I read was issue 1. I was looking at it going, probably shouldn't have seen that issue yet.
Snort.
You know, I was surprised. I thought you were going to review that. Man, who's that guy that you found out passed away when you looked back on where that currently was?
Oh, Ryan Bodenheim. Oh, the Dying in the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you read all those up to this point? Is that why you were kind of looking? Where's it at?
I read the first 3, and then the delays in just those issues. I think the 6 issues were out. I think it took 3 years for those to come out.
Wow.
So yeah, it's and I only read the first couple. I may have read the first 3, and I'd have to go back and reread them all. But it's some pretty heavy reading.
What was his name again? Sorry.
Ryan Bodenheim.
Brian Bodenheim.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Mr.
Yep.
Bodenheim. And rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth.
Yep.
That happened too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Good stuff. That's a great mix. We always, have a good mix of stuff.
I leave the superhero stuff to you guys.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call Spawn a superhero.
Well, it's got okay, yeah, whatever. I'd put him in the genre of super powered.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. So we wanted to finally get to what we've been talking about for months and months, and then was finally spun on the segment wheel, I think 2 weeks ago. Our unique topic of the week, which today's unique topic of the week is the pros and cons of variance, right?
Yep.
So you all ready?
Yep.
Grab your notes.
Yeah.
It's been forever since we saw that one.
Yeah. What's the story there? Was that Johnny voting down my idea?
No, it's Johnny voting down my idea, and you and Pat are laughing at us fighting.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, it makes so much more sense whenever that's right. I was sitting down.
And let me just say, I can tell that one is loud. Hey, did you ever get any feedback from Chelsea about the cover combat volume?
I didn't, but I noticed on my own when I was watching it on YouTube at work that cover combat segment sounded a little more even keel. So
that's what I should adjust them all to.
Yeah, I'll ask her again.
But that's good though. I was kind of feeling where I have it is good, but like I said, I just didn't want to do it to all of them until I know for sure. So, all right. So, who wants to start on this? Mike? So how do we want to do this anyway? So pros and cons of variants. Do we want to just talk about all the pros first, all the cons first, or just mix it up? What say you, Mike?
I think just mix it up. We'll see. You know,
All right, what do you got to say about variants first?
for me,
Yeah.
They make things confusing a lot of times.
Mm.
When because a lot before all these variants started coming out, the cover was you remember a book by its cover. You can remember what Uncanny X-Men 222 looked like. You bring that up and it's like, oh yeah, Wolverine Sabretooth, you remember it. Now let's say you go, what did Amazing Spider-Man number 6 look like? And you've got, especially an anniversary issue, you've got 20 covers, and I like to think that the A cover is the cover that should define that particular issue, but they get overshadowed a lot by the variant covers, and it's just confusing a lot of times. And I'm trying to pay attention to what covers I want and things like that, and it's just overwhelming.
That is such a great point. And I think you've pointed out before, and I know this is kind of a catch-22 comment as well, how like the best cover should be the A cover.
Right.
But of course, that's subjective to, what people think is the best. Some people might think the A is the best cover, but usually the variants are flashier, so everyone wants to grab those. But yeah, it makes it totally confusing. You can't, when I'm just without the CLZ app, I would be lost half the time trying to organize my collection because I can't tell what is what half the time, so that's a great point, Mike. First thing I want to point out, and I'll talk about virgin variants or no trade dress variants, is, man, while they're beautiful and I can definitely enjoy looking at them, I hate them because without it, with what you just talked about, with it being confusing, double down with the virgins. You don't even, unless half the time you have no clue what title this is.
You almost, if you're a collector of those kinds of books, you almost have to have some kind of system where you print out a label or something.
That's exactly what I do. I have a label maker that I print a label for, and I put it in the top left corner because that's where I like all my numbering to be on the other books I have anyway. So I always put it there.
Yeah, DC kind of with their B covers, they want to highlight the artwork, and so they do put it on there real small. But like you said, you prefer it up in the left-hand corner, and they don't put it up there. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's down here. And I know the artwork kind of lends to where it goes, but tell your artists, look,
make space here. Yeah.
This is the small area you cannot use. Don't put something up there that's important.
Yeah. Because when you're fingering through your books, you can't. The tight. I got to lift them all up, and even for the ones that, like you said, is at the bottom. So
you'd think that the industry, the people that produce the stuff, would have an inkling on the habits of collectors. We look through boxes like this. You need the information right at the top, but they always put it at the bottom. But that doesn't have to do with variants. That's all over.
All right, Patrick, what's your thoughts?
Just overall?
Well, just kind of one point first. Yeah.
I mean,
pro or a con, I guess.
It certainly gives you more choice. I mean, if you're collecting a certain title, you usually almost always have an option to pick a secondary cover. Again, it leads you to confusion and things like that, but you can always, at least you have a little bit of a leeway about what you should pick and choose, I guess.
Yeah, that is a good pro. Yeah, because if there's only one cover and you don't like it, which there's a few that I feel that way about from back in the day before variants were around. that I hate that cover. So but if there was a bunch of variants, I'm sure I would have found one that I would have liked. So yeah, that's a good thought.
Yeah.
So, all right, Mike.
While they're confusing and I dislike them to some to some degree, I think it's a good port is it employs a lot more artists because there are some artists that that's all they do.
Yep.
They just do, like Joshua Middleton. We talk about him and Matina. All they don't do interiors. They do covers. So it employs a lot more people, and it gets more artwork out there to be seen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
In a sketchbook of theirs that they sell at a convention, it's published stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That was one of my pros as well.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
No, it's good. All right. Yeah, I got another con here. Man, it's a nightmare for completionists. I mean, it's impossible at this point, right? I mean, I don't even know if anybody tries if you're a completionist like that to do it with every cover. I mean, it's crazy how many. I mean, some of them will have 100 different covers.
Yeah, I looked up here. According to Wikipedia, the cover with the most variants is Amazing Spider-Man 666, which had 145 variant covers.
Jeez,
the thing about that one is it was one of those ones that had like a blank space for a store's name. So whoever,
gotcha. Yeah.
I have the New Dimension version of that book.
Okay.
Yeah, I have that one as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which that makes it fun. It makes it fun, for your story, especially if you really like the owner and the people and stuff of the store in general too. It makes it really cool. But yeah, again, like I said, completionists, there's no hope anymore to be a completionist with how many variants there are. So
yeah, that was actually my number one con. And leading to that is just the expense of collecting variants. If even if there's only two, if there's an A and B cover, that's you're doubling the cost of following that series if you want to be a completionist. Let alone, a lot of times the variant on DC books is $1 more. They're giving you a better quality cover.
Yeah,
but even the cost is being affected there. If you choose to pick the variant, you're going to pay $1 more for it.
Yeah. I did that forever, and then I finally that was my first when I started to try to be good at budgeting better. My first thing was to cut away the B covers of DC. Save me $10 a month right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
What you got, Mike?
Well, this isn't necessary. No. I get one thing that bothers me. Well, DC's really good at the B covers. They'll let an artist do a stretch. Art Germ did a stretch here on Catwoman. Middleton did one on Batgirl and stuff like that. So you've got the same artist for a while, so you can kind of collect their. It's like, oh, I'm going to get all these variants for this artist. I think Marvel jumps all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But the Star Wars stuff, they do themed ones there.
Yeah.
I usually find out about the themed ones after the fact. It seems like Marvel doesn't release the variant covers soon enough. So, I'm like 2 issues in going, oh, I see a trend here. I'd really like to get these. So now I'm backtracking, trying to get the other ones. So there's just no rhyme or reason sometimes to make things easier for a collector.
Yeah, which brings me to the next one that we've talked about a couple times because it comes up all the time is how you're talking about a theme for variants, and then the variant covers literally have nothing to do with what's inside the comic book at all. Where we were looking at the Spider-Man. It was in the top 10 last week. What was that a book for? Oh, X-Men.
Yeah, it was an Immortal X-Men book.
Immortal X-Men book, and it's got Spider-Man on the cover for what's the latest Spider-Man thing again?
Yeah. Well, that's what
It's
is that?
beyond amazing.
Beyond Amazing, yeah. So yeah, we've got Beyond Amazing. So Spider-Man's on all the covers of books that he's not in, and man, I can't stand that at all. I really,
That's a Marvel thing.
yeah, I
Marvel.
really just don't like that at all.
It is very irritating unless you love that character and you're trying to get all the covers and it's a good artist, you know, you like to follow. But I totally agree. It just makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that looks at that book, I mean, you might be a Spider-Man fan that likes to obviously read Spider-Man stories too, and you might grab that because Spider-Man's on the cover, and then you get it home and you're like, wait, I don't like the X-Men. I don't know, why'd I get this, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I hate that.
It's like you buy a box of Ho-Hos, you open up and there's Twinkies inside.
Yes.
The heck?
Exactly.
Like, surprise. Anyway.
All right, Pat, you got another one?
Yeah, the con and this sort of, you know, a lot of these things we're talking about sort of pull into this topic is the proliferation of store exclusives, man, because every store seems to nowadays be working with different artists out there, and you know their books are, you know, $15-$20, and there's variants upon those books, you know, one with trade dress, one without, and every store it seems like is doing, you know, store exclusive variant covers, and just leads to the completest nature of how could you do it, and the financial aspect, how could you possibly do it.
Yeah.
And it makes it tough when you're, especially if you're following an artist. You know, I give an example is Art Adams. He's doing, you know, a series of variant covers for this company over here, and man, every time one pops up, if you wanted to buy it, you know, you got a $20 book, which is really only, you know, $4 cover price, but they're charging $20, and then shipping tacked on every time a new one comes out, and it's just too much.
It's overwhelming. Yeah. You think, again, like Mike was saying about them caring about collectors' habits and stuff, you know, I don't know whether we're exactly kind of the norm or maybe it's just me, but it's when it gets overwhelming, that makes you want to check out. You know, it doesn't make you want to pursue it more. If it's kind of, you know, doable, an achievable goal, you keep chasing it. But as soon as it gets overwhelming with, I mean, we're kind of all, like you said, Pat, all this stuff is connected and it gets so overwhelming, it makes you just want to drop out altogether. So especially for committed people like us, where obviously we've loved this for a very long time, you know, we're not going anywhere. We'll just minimize, but imagine trying to be a new collector that just started like, you know, last year or even less time than that, how the overwhelming nature of everything we're talking about could just make you, just turn you off completely.
Yeah, this is a good instance where, you know, if we had Ty here to sort of comment on his, you know, as a new collector, how he feels about all the different covers, and if he feels the need, he has to collect everything, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think he mentioned, and this goes back to what Mike originally mentioned about being confusing. You know, he goes and looks at the new release wall and he sees 10 Venoms and he's thinking, wow, there's 10 Venoms. And then he finds out it's all the exact same book.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he mentioned the frustration with that already. So, yeah.
Yeah. Or if you think, oh, Venom number 4, I don't have that cover because you don't recognize it. But yeah, that's because you bought a variant.
I've done that so many times. Yeah, and again, as us being experienced, I still do that. You know, I still will be in a store and I'm like, oh, I ain't got that. I don't have that one. And then I bring it home and I'm like, oh yeah, wait, I did have that one. Yeah.
Time for a very variant whatnot show.
Yes.
These are all the variants that I accidentally bought because I didn't know I had it.
Right. I seriously, I'm glad you said that because I've thought about that actually just yesterday because, you know, when I change the theme of the show regularly, I've got like because we've got the storage unit for most of our collection, but I've got like 7 or 8 long boxes upstairs. And as I'm looking through them, obviously I did Spider-Man, and then I did Hulk, and then Spawn. So as I'm looking through all of them and I'm seeing these duplicates, I was thinking that exact same thing. I'm like, oh, another very variant show is in order here. So exactly. All right, do you have another one, Mike?
Yeah, I have one. Sometimes the variants can actually be fun. Every once in a while, they'll do like secret variants, won't be announced. A lot of times, I think they're 1 in 5s. The one that stands out, I had to look it up. I couldn't remember the issue number. Avengers 682. I'll hold it up. It's so you've got Hawkeye on the back there with his mask on, his traditional mask, and then there without it. Now, I can't remember which one was the main. Mark Brooks did it. Yeah, the one with the mask is the main cover. The secret variant, he has no mask. And I think those were 1 in 5. Wasn't advertised. Those are kind of fun.
Yeah, those are definitely fun. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I think Image used to do them. They were ghost variants where they weren't advertised. They just slip them in. Stuff like that's kind of neat. There's a Department of Truth. James Tinian had done the first issue had I think it was the first issue had the regular covers, and then there was 1 in 10 or something like that had Lee Harvey Oswald on it. So the kind of stuff like that's fun.
Yeah, speaking of that, this specific Avengers issue, I don't know how they handle it these days, or if there's quite the ratio scenario you're talking about. But in that case, for me, DCBS, I got the variant. They just gave it to me. It seems like nowadays, anytime there's a ratio variant, they're going to charge extra for it. That back in those days, DCBS would just throw it in your shipment. It would be random, which is great. I think that rewards customers, I know that I realized the store could make a little extra money on it, but really how much extra? And, it's a nice surprise for somebody as a subscriber to get something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, which actually, and all I'm saying are cons with this. The spec market on variants just drives me nuts because, as we know, when there's a particularly beautiful variant done by a specific artist that someone wants, and it'll be $20-$30 before it comes out, and then especially if it's one that the store is just going to sell, for cover price, it's gone before you get there, that kind of thing too, and then it just shoots the prices up even more. Man, I would love to be able to kind of track or be aware of whether these values hold up, years down the road. We talk all the time about how a cover price 9 times out of 10 doesn't hold its value. 6 months from now, we're finding it in dollar bins. What happens with a 1 in 50, that they sold for $50,
Yeah.
And then next year, what's up with that book? I feel like it's just hot. Speculators are on top of it, and it's just out of control.
Yep. Yeah.
Especially with the 1 in 100s. I don't know if maybe a store tries to sell that, and when Xcellar comes to fruition, try to sell it for, if you want to try to sell it for $100, like out the gate. But if it doesn't sell, I look at these 1 in 100s, like at our local store, and they still got it in the, behind the glass for $105. And I'm like, for whatever cost, I'm like, man, no one, if it's still here now, no one's grabbing that. Lower that to in increments as time goes on, to a reasonable price, because I would love to have some of those 1-in-100s, but I'm not paying $100 for it, you know. So, but if you lowered it down at some point to $20, you know, because the store, correct me if I'm wrong, they're just paying the same cost for that book that they did for all the other books, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they're still going to make a ton of money, you know, even if they sell it for $20, you know.
Yeah,
So,
but I think they need to sell the other 99 though.
right, I know, but if they didn't,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like 6 months later, the journey with that issue and the money they made or not is past, you know.
Yeah, if they have a good tracking system, they can look and see, okay, did we sell all 99? If we did, then we made our money. If we sold 50 of them, they can adjust that 1-in-100 price.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's a
compensate for the unsold. Right?
that's a perfect thought. Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot of bookkeeping, though. I mean,
that's
just
true.
tracking
That's true.
numbers.
But regardless, either way, even if they didn't sell, you know, if they bought 99 and they only sold 10 of them and they got 89 of them left, and those are in their dollar bin, why not still try to sell the 1-in-100 for 50 rather than 100 to recoup the 99? You know what I mean? It's still, like I said, the story's old.
Right.
You know, just get what you can for it now. Don't leave it behind the glass at $100 for a year and no one's going to want it. You know, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I think it seems like those books they're geared towards the speculator market.
Yeah.
And yeah, once they're not hot anymore, man, you just need to cut your losses and move them.
And don't you guys feel like with the speculator market, they're like just selling to themselves 3/4 of the time, 75% of the time? It's just like one speculator to another speculator to another speculator. It's never, it always seems like to be this cyclical market rather than actually landing in the lap of someone that cares about the book and they're just going to keep it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's where I jump in once in a while and not lately because, yeah, it gets expensive, but I want a book just because I want that particular book. You know, like I got that Sandman.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the new title for it, but the 1-in-100 Jenny Frison. You know, I went after that one specifically because I liked that cover.
Yeah, you want that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So CBCS, get my book back to me.
I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
You think that's going to be a 9.8? You said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, if it's not,
I can't wait to see that reveal.
Yeah, I mean it's a card stock, and you know, never touched it. But speaking of CBCS, we're coming up on 1 year since we submitted our books to CBCS.
Wow.
Xcellar has a total of 15 books there right now.
It's going to be exciting when they come back someday.
Yeah. Now, given that first batch, there's some pressing in there, so I know that adds more time.
Yeah.
But the other ones, I think the next batch was December maybe, and there was no pressing in any of the later ones. There's no pressing, just that first batch.
Wow.
So
yeah. Who knows why it takes so long?
I know.
Boy, there was, I don't know if you guys caught this, but I just happened to follow a specific company on Facebook, and CBCS lost a ton of their books.
Oh, I think I read that too. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like some real Grail stuff with Stan Lee signatures.
Yeah, I know. Could you imagine?
Books.
Yeah.
Ow.
That's one of the reasons I definitely want to submit. I wanted to submit 181 at the con because I was like, I could not imagine packing up my 181 and just dropping it off at the post office. Are you serious? You know, so for
now
that
you have it back.
Huh?
Now that you have it back, there are horror stories where after the con, people have found books with submission slips at the con.
Really?
Yeah.
Janitor.
Thanks for not telling me that story earlier. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. But I turned my my Sandman book and my Sandman and what else? Strange Academy #1. Yeah, I turned those in at the convention. Anyway, back to variants.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Pat?
No, I didn't have any. I didn't have any more. I can just throw out some few stats here. The first looks like what they recognize as the first variant cover was DC's Man of Steel #1 by John Byrne in 1986. It had the A and B cover.
Right.
And the best selling. Do you guys know what the best selling variant cover of all time is?
X-Men #1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 5 different versions and.
Yeah, what was great about that were the connecting covers.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Talk about completionists. I mean, obviously that's, not the norm, but yeah, especially when all the variants connect. Yeah, you definitely want them all then. And sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say what I liked about that, that book, that was all X-Men #1. And then later on, Todd McFarlane did an homage to that, but he did it over 5 different issues.
4 issues, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Absolute Carnage did the same thing. It was different issues. It wasn't all just one issue where you got. So,
yeah.
And as far as variants go, I love connecting covers.
Yeah. So. And it's funny we talk about connecting covers. You never say they're always still just in a box. I mean, it's great. It'd be an awesome thing if you had the space to just like have them beside each other and you could mount them or something. That'd be awesome. But yeah, most of the time, even with the connecting covers, you just got them in a box. And then we had another connecting cover variant conversation recently. We thought it was crazy. Was with I think the Clone Saga for the Spider-Man titles. And they had how many connecting covers they have with that? 4 or 5, Mike? I think.
No, I thought we had 4 or 5 of them, and I think there were 8.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was Art Adams connecting covers, I think.
And what was crazy about that is those not only were different numbers, but different titles. It spanned Amazing, Web.
Oh yeah,
right. Edge of Spider, or the one of the Edge of Spider-Verse books.
Yeah.
Because I think Patrick mentioned he was going to get those.
Did you get them, Pat?
Yeah, I got them all. Yeah,
they're all in a box.
Yep.
They're not even back to back in the box. They're probably in separate areas because they're separate.
Right, because they're different titles. Yeah.
They might be together because I haven't. Those are so recent that I haven't done my due diligence and.
Oh God, no.
So they might actually still be next to each other. I don't know.
There's something to be said for being not caught up on organization.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect. It's fun. So there's definitely fun within the variants, but
yeah, that's I definitely am torn every time this conversation comes up, and that's I guess the best point right there, Mike, is even with all the pros and cons, we still have some fun with it.
Yeah, you kind of have to find what the way you want to collect with the variants. Because it's how deep you want to get into it financially.
Right.
That's a good way to wrap it up, Kevin.
Yeah. That's what I was just thinking. So, okay. All right. I'm actually going to make another blog about that then. I actually did a couple blogs when we first launched XcellarComics.com, and we hadn't had a conversation like this since to add another blog. And I think it's a nice thing for me to put on the website so you can refer back to it. And I just kind of lay out, all when we do a kind of a, pros and cons list like this. So, all right. That was fun. Okay. Pat, you're on deck. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You're always ready, Pat. You're awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Last week we talked about the Target Fall Geek Out, and they had the Hunchback last week. Turtles crossing over with Universal Monsters, and for the second week in a row, we got more NECA product on Thursday from Target, and we have the Mummy crossing over with who is this? Orange Tello.
Oh, that's great.
I love the one head sculpt here in the upper right hand corner. I don't know if we have a better look at it here. Look at that.
Wow, that's great.
I love it.
Yeah.
Put that
And,
one on. Throw the other one away.
And the nunchucks and with the anks and there's just a lot of cool stuff. I think they're doing a really good job on these. They announced this, this Thursday. I think I was there Thursday or Friday, and I didn't see them. I still saw the Hunchbacks. But the way they're doing the NECA product, I think it should be almost immediately. These shouldn't be too far off on your horizon. They should be hitting close to when they announced them on their Fall Geek Fest. But yeah, I don't know if I think there's more coming. But yeah, look for him soon.
I'm not a huge Turtles fan, but I love these.
Yeah, they're just executed very well, you know. There wasn't too much other NECA product to write home about.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Is that art, or is that just a picture of like one of them?
That's a good question, because I remember a conversation about the front of the box. People thought it was just a shot of the figure, but it turned out that it was a painting or a digital render. So I don't know if that's the case on the inside flap or not.
Because those are pretty cool too. I mean, that's another great part about it. Obviously, is the art. Yeah.
Were you gonna say, Mike?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, it looks like a photograph of it, but I'm not sure he can really pose in that. I'm trying to look at the articulation of his leg. I guess he could.
Yeah, I was also looking at the head sculpt. Doesn't quite match up maybe with the figure there. So it could be a digital or a...
Oh yeah, his eyes kind of looking to the left, it seems, too.
Yeah.
When with the whole head sculpt, it's just facing forward.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure about that.
Yeah. Oh no! Wait. Never mind. Okay.
So we kind of talked about it. We mentioned Todd McFarlane briefly, and Kevin teased it for the opening of the show. So I wanted to give them a little due diligence, because I don't talk about them a lot. I'm not, first of all, I'm not a big DC fan, and I'm not really a huge McFarlane action figure fan either. Although I think they have done some good work and improved over the years. They're not quite the statues that they used to be, for sure. But this, Mike a lot of times comments about long titles. These are Dark Knights of Death Metal, Speed Metal figures.
Oh, jeez.
Which, again, there's something I have no idea. I totally checked out for that as far as the comics go. But these are 7-inch page punchers. They come with a Flash comic. I'm sorry. Strike all that. They are 7-inch figures, but these aren't page punchers. These are just the DC Multiverse line. Barry Allen, Kid Flash, Jay Garrick, and Wally West in outfits I have never seen before. I kind of feel embarrassed for Jay Garrick there. He just, I don't know about that outfit. But I'm sure there are fans of, Dark Knight's Death Metal, Speed Metal. The Build-A-Figure you see in the background there is the Darkest Night character, which, again, clueless.
Looks like that packaging is trying to impersonate like the Star Wars Black Series line.
Yeah, that's what McFarlane's been using since he launched the Multiverse series. But yeah, it's the uniform square rectangle box with you can't see the whole figure. It's I think it's decent enough packaging.
Yeah.
And their name is nice and big on the side. So if you're in a store and there's a big row, you can just look at the names down the side, which makes it pretty convenient. Now,
with that Flash, first of all, he puts me in mind of Raiden, from Mortal Kombat, right away. And there he's got, they got the, I'm assuming those are like the Flash, extras there around his legs or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what do you call those all the time? You correct
Parts
me.
effects. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't like those. It looks like he's just on fire.
Yeah. I mean, if they're done well, I like them sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, kind of a miss for me on all of these. I agree. It kind of looks like they're on fire, you know?
Yeah. Initially, when I first saw it looked awesome. But then the more I look at it, the more I don't like it. You know?
Yeah, and maybe even, I don't know. I was going to say maybe even individually on their own, but, you know, we're kind of looking at this big mess of a group shot here.
Yeah, maybe that might be a little better, but I don't know. Yeah, and I feel like I'm concluding at this point that that's how I feel about these every time I see them. Those kind of effects. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take a step back if I didn't mention it. All of the 7-inch DC are $25 retail. And the Mummy, I don't think I mentioned, he's $37 retail. So
I'm out.
Yeah. Now
talking about collecting and being a completionist, breaking the
Right.
bank. Jeez, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yes. Okay, now for some page punching action. These come with a Flash comic, all the same Flash comic for some strange reason. It's an all new Flash comic. We kind of touched on that last week, not a reprint. So for if you're a real completist on the Flash, you want to pick up one of these, at least one of these page puncher figures. Again, 7-inch at $25. This is the Flash Wave, Heat Wave, Captain Cold, Atom, and the Flash.
Yeah, Captain Cold looks awesome. That's probably the one that I would buy.
That Atom looks pretty. I mean, the Heat Wave looks cool too. I mean, the Flash looks cool aside from the effects as well. You know, but I like that Atom. That's cool. Yeah.
And along with this wave, they showed this Gorilla Grodd.
Holy cow!
Now, I don't. Oh yeah, I do have a price, $40. He's oversized, but he comes with the same Flash page puncher comic. So yeah, their oversized figures are impressive. If you've ever seen them in the store.
Yeah, and on collectability, those are going to be the ones that later on are going to be harder to get. They just produce fewer because they can, you know, the other ones they can probably fit 4 or 5 per box, and then there's room for maybe one of these per box.
Yeah,
something like that. So the oversized usually are fewer.
Exactly.
Yeah, that being the same Flash, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Because then basically when you buy one, it takes the comic book in there as an incentive to buy the next one out of the equation. You know what I mean? If it were different comics, it would make it more of an incentive for each individual character. Yeah. So
right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what their idea there is. Even if, you know, they took the variant route, they could do the same comic but feature the action figure character
on the cover.
Variant cover. I don't want to give them any ideas, but you know, if you're already buying the figures, if you're wanting the figures too, they could go that route.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do a 5-issue miniseries.
That could do that too. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. You know, come on, man. They're supposed to be the smart ones.
Let me ask you all this, and this is kind of in context with what we're talking about, but a little bit different. For the Whatnot show, you know, when I combine comics and collectibles, what I was considering doing last night, but I didn't pull the trigger on, so you guys can give me your opinion for future shows. Like, I was considering putting a Spawn comic up with a Spawn book and trying to sell them that way. Do you think that would have been fun?
I think it would have been fun. I don't know if it depends on if people would go for it. That's the only problem.
Because if you're there for a collectible, you might not care about the comic and vice versa. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's actually what made me not pull the trigger on it. Okay.
Right. I mean, I think, you know, sidetrack to Whatnot talk. I think it's good strategy to feature at least some comics because, you know, some people might just on a whim decide, yeah, you know what, I should try that comic. I love these figures so much, or vice versa, you know?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to play around with it more. So anyway, back to your figures though.
Yeah. Okay. More page punchers, 7-inch page punchers. These are Injustice 2 Page Punchers. Batman and Green Arrow, just 2 figures for some reason. I like the Green Arrow, even though I'm not familiar with that outfit. Maybe you guys are from playing the game.
Yeah, it's from playing. Yeah, it's one of the outfits in the game. Yep. Yeah.
Again, here I believe you are only getting. There's only the one comic. The same comic comes in both Batman and the Green Arrow boxes. So
those look good, but man, I don't know about those hinge pockets in the arms there.
Yeah.
Well, they're in the legs too, but it looks like more with the legs. It's like part of their clothes or armor, but especially in Green Arrow's arm there.
Right.
Yeah. Skin.
A lot of
Cool.
people are going to what they call, I think I've mentioned it previously, is what they call the pinless joint system, where you don't see that joint so much, that pin sticking out.
Yeah.
I think it's probably more costly. But as they a lot of times in all these action figure lines, they sort of reuse parts, so if they can, and they're using a pinless joint system, some of that cost is recouped, and it definitely looks better when you can't see those pins and the joints and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think the whole gist of me talking about Page Punchers was I hadn't seen the 3-inch when I mentioned it last week, and sure enough, they announced them this week. So thanks, Todd Father. We got Hal Jordan, Flashpoint Batman, and Rebirth Nightwing and Joker. There's a little bit of a more close-up view.
Man, those look good for 3 inches.
Yeah, that's what I thought about the first round too, but when I actually saw them in person, I don't know.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know did you actually pick one up and look at it closely?
I didn't.
Yeah. I don't want to, there's definitely, I think it's awesome. They look great packaged with the comics, but I don't know. They're so small, and I was unimpressed. They're going for, I think they said they're going for the $9, $10 figure, but when I was gathering this stuff on McFarlane's website, they had them for $11. So I don't know if they've went up $1 or what, but yeah.
Yeah, Marcus and I were in Target and we saw them, and he goes, "Oh, those are cool." I said, "I think they're about $10 a piece." He's like, "Nope," and walked away. And it's not even his money he's spending.
Well,
Dad's trained him well.
That's good in a way. I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
He's recognizing that,
Yeah.
where his money could be, or your money could best be put to better use.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think they look cool on the card and everything, but boy, I don't know. Just I was sort of let down when I saw the actual product. And I'm gonna say these are on your horizon, but McFarlane is weird. I think we had mentioned the Superpowers line. That started springing up at Walmart before he even officially announced it. So I don't know when these are coming.
Okay.
They're on your horizon, but they may show up tomorrow for all I know.
Man, I love those Superpowers. Those are definitely something I've had to resist buying.
Yeah,
they're nice. I like them.
Those again. I don't know. Man, something about them just seems off to me. I'd rather buy the originals than these new re-releases. But
well, how much are they? Do you remember?
The figures, the new ones, they're trying to get to that $10 price point too. Yeah.
Oh, for the Superpowers too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I had posted a pic in Xcellar group this week where it looks like but previously they had them out on a isolated island near the toy department. They have moved them in at least our store to the regular toy aisle. And the weird thing was that they had, right now there's only 4 figures out. Batman, Superman, Darkseid, and Green Lantern, John Stewart. And for some reason, they must have just had enough peg space, and they had to put John Stewart in the clearance section of our Walmart. He wasn't any cheaper, but he was marked with the clearance tag, and he was there in the same quantities and everything. They still had plenty of them, but I think it was just the settings of their toy aisle that kind of pushed somebody into the clearance aisle. So, but they're out there. If you're interested, they should. And the vehicles are both look restocked and plentiful. So just keep checking your Walmarts. And I also think that they are, they initially were Walmart exclusive. We always joke about exclusive in that word, but those are supposed to start hitting other stores. So keep an eye out if you're interested.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They may do exclusive for a certain amount of time, and then it's kind of open market.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, that's all I got.
That's it.
I noticed the Hasbro had the what was it called? It was like a Nerf live stream. They gave it like a name though. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
So first of all, and I wish you knew about this because I may need corrected. So you won't be able to correct me if I do. I could just be completely wrong and it could go along, but it was like a Nerf con, but it was just a live stream just for them to highlight new Nerf products coming out. And if I'm not mistaken, they said this is the first time they've done this and they're going to continue doing it, which I was thinking, oh, that was cool. That's cool. And Nerf is one of those things that I've had my time with a lot of Nerf stuff. I've still got a couple big bins of them in the shed. And even though all my kids are older now, you think when the grandkids come along, having these old Nerf will be awesome. And I've got a lot of them still. I have a hard time parting with them because of all the great memories I have with the kids. So whenever I saw this show, I was like, oh, this could be cool, and I guess there's obviously a big fan base of Nerf people, But man, what they highlighted, I think it was 3 new Nerf guns, and man, it was underwhelming. They didn't even look cool, let alone, having cool, how Nerf obviously comes up with all these new functions and how, they shoot and then they have this new product where it's water. It's like just little water pellets. And they have a Nerf gun that I can't remember what the name of the water pellet system is, but it shoots like 100 rounds a second or some crazy amount of water pellets. And I'm like thinking, man, this is a very limiting toy. I don't know how long parents are going to let this be shot in the house. And then
I always worry about Mike and his coffee. Jeez.
Yeah.
Have a kid shooting water pellets around the house.
Yeah. So I don't know. It seems like they're missing the mark. Although if they did have one of those every year, I might check it out because they do come out with some cool stuff. But if like I said, I'm correct, this was the first year, man, it was a big fail in my opinion. If anybody else saw it, comment, let us know.
I pulled it up, Kevin. Hasbro Pulse Nerf Fest.
Nerf Fest. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Right below it, I don't know if this was part of Nerf Fest. This seems like it happened a while ago, but there's a Boba Fett blaster and a Ghostbusters blaster Nerf.
So yeah, the Boba Fett blaster's old. I have that. But the new ones they showed during Nerf Fest was a Star Trek blaster.
Okay.
And it came with a bonus phaser blaster, which was one of those one-shot tricks where you pump it back and you put one shot in and it shoots, which I hate those. Those are so lame in my opinion. But it didn't even they styled these Star Trek themed ones after the Borg. So it had like the Borg wire and wrapping on it, and I didn't think they looked cool at all either. But I'm not a Trekkie, so maybe Trekkies will dig it. But
well, Patrick and I have experts in the house that we'll have to show the video to and get their opinion.
Okay. Yeah, do that. Because the big one that they were acting like was the most exciting part of Nerf Fest was they had this retro. They had a couple retro. And I'm thinking, okay, that's awesome because I've got some that I think are really cool in the shed. And I'm thinking it's going to be one of these they're re-releasing. But man, it was like the lamest in my opinion, Nerf gun I'd ever seen. I don't even remember seeing. It was actually from '92, and that was before my firstborn. I was thinking I really wasn't into Nerf back then at all, so I had never seen it before, but it sucked. I thought so. Again, like I said, did it say what you just looked up, Pat? Did it say if it's the first one or not, first annual or anything like that?
I didn't see where it said one way or another.
And they have this mascot too.
Yeah.
Did you? What's his name? The Warp. The Warp.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. I saw this a couple months ago when they announced him.
Yeah.
It's odd.
All he is a big costume of the Nerf bullets laid all over him. So he looks like what are those dogs that have like the hair that's all like in these braid knots or whatever, you know those dogs. That's totally what I looked like when I saw him. I was like, he looks just like that dog. I can't remember what the name.
Just be a big Nerf bullet, just one big Nerf bullet.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been easier too. I mean, when I was thinking of whoever put together that costume for that mascot, I was like, how the heck did they just, did they have to sew right to the end of each bullet to make? I mean, it literally looks like he's covered by. It's got to be 10,000 of these bullets, and it's just huge, and he doesn't even look. It wasn't even really amusing. So anyway, but
his name is Murph.
Murph. Anyway, all right. Moving on from collectibles now. I think this is where we want to do the segment wheel. Do we want to do the segment wheel before or after the recap?
Before.
Okay. So that's now. So are you ready?
Getting there.
First of all, tell us what's still available on the segment wheel, if you don't mind.
Okay, we have Funko Pop Fun.
Lexi's rooting for that. Okay.
Yeah. Mayhem of Manga.
Has Cora been informed yet?
Yeah. You got to remember.
You sure about that answer?
Yeah. I have reservations. You got to remember, she's 12 years old and she can't. Her thought process doesn't go like this.
Understood. Absolutely. But I'm just saying. But you definitely did mention it to her.
Yes,
that's the plan. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll see if it happens, and if it does, then I'll completely understand. Yeah.
Yeah, she was all ecstatic, couldn't talk right, and was bouncing off the walls. So it's good.
Okay, good.
And then Video Game Barrage. So those.
Which I'm going to enlist assistance with my boys on that one.
Yep.
And I don't know. Maybe Pat, you can chime in. Are you still kind of up on Nintendo video games or no video games?
Yeah, Nintendo.
Okay.
In retro.
And that's Nintendo's the only one I'm not really up on. So so that's I can get a couple tidbits from you on that as well.
Sure.
All right, so manga, video games, and Funko Pops.
Yeah,
that's
all three of those. Or is the idea behind all three of those sort of spotlighting what's coming? Is that what we're intending?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, talk about what currently is the most is popular, and then of course what's coming. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Hold on. What did it say? Oh,
Mayhem of Manga.
And guess who just walked in to the studio?
Awesome. Cora is on deck.
Let's do it right now live, Cora.
How about a teaser? What's your favorite right now? Chainsaw Man. There you go.
That looks cool. I think that looks cool, actually.
It does. When she showed me, I thought, all right, I want to read this.
It's really good.
There we go.
Well, I know nothing about it, so I'll be
It's right there in the title, Kevin.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I figured, but
anyway. And so I guess So I guess I'll have to get a couple issues for Cora, a couple volumes.
Yeah, you do, because I've been asking for them. But you
Good
still-
for her. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, lucky your segment's up next week.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Lexi's still gonna have a sad face, but we're getting there.
We are. I mean,
Like Patrick said, as soon as the segment wheel runs out, Cover Combat's gonna finish, and we'll reboot, and boom, Cover Combat might come back up right around again. Wouldn't that be awesome? If the first spin on a new wheel is Cover Combat.
it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
I know, I can imagine. Yeah. All right. So let's recap.
Johnny's recap.
And then my
Mike, you're first. What you
Yep.
got?
One moment.
Intro, no intro.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
We've kind of ignored some of Karen's comments too. If you saw them there, Kevin, I think she was talking about some of the toys I was showing. Unfortunately.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, Karen. Thank you so much for the comments, but trying to multitask it's tough. Yeah. So, but I'm gonna highlight him right now though because I do feel bad that she got ignored. So first thing she said was that She-Hulk had the glamorous hair in the comic books in response, I think, to my question asking about the hair, which I knew she had the glamorous hair as She-Hulk, but my question was, did she have the same kind of look when she was just Jen in the comic books or not? And I think, Pat, you answered that saying she did kind of still look kind of the same in the comics too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there she is. Yeah, she's saying yeah.
Okay. And then she said she saw these at Target, assuming the page punchers. Oh, and then she says, well, Superman at least. Okay, gotcha.
Or she was talking about the superpower. Well, they wouldn't be a Target. Yeah, so probably page punchers.
Yeah. Yeah, she said yes again. Okay. Thank you again for your participation, Karen. Sorry about missing that. You know, we're still on the lookout for hiring a producer to be on the show to help us with these kinds of things. So, and you just have to be willing to work for free. Those are the standards.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so now let's get to the recap.
Johnny's recap.
Nice. And, you know, joking about hiring somebody too, Ayla approached me. I think it was Ayla. It might have been Lexi. One of my female children approached me about a friend of theirs that's like, they do intros for and videos for stuff like all this. I'm like, hey, yeah, I want to talk to him, you know. So if you notice everything greatly changing and being more awesome, it'll probably be because of that. All right, what do you got, Mike?
Okay. Instead of watching Secret Headquarters, watch Goonies or Spy Kids.
Okay. Nice. Pat?
Boy, I can't remember what this applies to, but demons are dangerous.
I was mentioning that about She-Hulk. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Pedro Pascal has a lot of great stuff to watch right now. So check out Prospect and the Mandalorian season 3 trailer. Looks sick. Anyway.
All right. Kevin's new nickname is DB Cooper because he hijacks Patrick's segment with Whatnot.
What? I don't get that reference.
You don't get that reference?
No.
I said your new nickname is DB Cooper. And I was cracking myself up when I thought of this. I was good.
I
That's
do
the
that.
way it
joke.
always is.
Kevin's
Try to
new
think up
nickname
things.
is DB Cooper because he hijacks Patrick's segment with talk of whatnot.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay, gotcha. I see what you're saying. Gotcha. I think the part I missed when you first said it, I'm sorry, I ruined it. Anytime you have to explain a joke, you just kill it. I know, I do that. I'm sorry. But that's good, Mike. Okay,
I'm
thanks.
tearing up here. That was classic.
Pat?
After all these months of hyping variant comic talk, we have settled on they have pros and cons. But overall they're fun.
Nice. Spawn is still great.
I didn't have any more.
Okay.
Being eliminated from cover combat is sad.
It is.
It is sad.
Am I the only one? Do you know, Mike? Am I the only one that's been eliminated?
We'll let Kevin go, and then we'll give it to me.
We are 1 week closer to being without Venom in cover combat.
Yeah. News break.
Sorry, Tyler.
Tom,
Sorry, Tyler. Sorry, Tyler.
News flash. Tom has also been eliminated from cover combat.
Ah.
I feel you, Tom.
Sorry, Tom.
All
That's
right.
it for me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for me too.
I'm too sad.
Mike?
No, I'm done.
All right, cool.
It's fun.
I'm going to just add this at the end of Johnny's recap. You know, Johnny, we need you. Come back for your recap.
If he just comes in for that, it's like, hey, boys, I'm
That'd be
here.
awesome.
Recap, and he's out.
I
He
don't
doesn't
think
even have to stay by. He can just hang up.
I don't think Johnny ever really had to explain his jokes or anything. So.
He didn't. They just came off the cuff. He was quick about it, and they were great. Yeah. All right. So that brings us to just some quick reminders. Please answer the poll and the trivia question on our podcast through the Spotify app. And please follow us, Xcellar Comics, on Facebook, Twitter, and or Instagram. And subscribe to Xcellar Comics on YouTube and Anchor by Spotify. And follow Xcellar_comics on Whatnot and TikTok. And then check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics and at Xcellarcomics.com. And listen to an edited podcast of this live stream on Spotify that I'll have posted no later than Tuesday. And then watch all of our shows on the Whatnot app at Xcellar_comics Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do a comic focus show, and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a collectibles focus show. I don't exactly know what the themes are going to be this week yet, but I will have posted by the end of the day those shows so you can bookmark them. And then watch our segments throughout the week as we post them on YouTube. If you like one part of the show in particular, you can check those out. And then, of course, watch the next live stream of this show next Sunday, 1 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. And that is going to be our 1-year anniversary show. We're officially 1 year old tomorrow. So we're doing it on the next show. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to be giveaway crazy on that show. Just come to the show and comment that you want to be added to Mike's segment wheel. And at the end of each segment next week, Mike will spin the segment wheel and we'll be giving away a lot of good stuff. So make sure to subscribe, like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we post something. And we really appreciate it. So that'll about do it. Anybody else got anything in particular you'd like to say to end the show?
Nope. Bye.
Great. Thank you so much for checking us out. And until next time, don't forget that appreciating great art is awesome and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.